Rock stars. There's literally nothing like those wild parties. All I did was drink and party and go to rock concerts.
So I got VIP access to a certain very hot rock star's room.
This was getting a little intense for my liking.
What's your problem?
Okay.
Look, bitch, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're no better than the rest of us.
Hey, come on, you gotta go. I'll call you.
Hey, what would you say if I were to tell you that rock stars like Terry would pay for your attention and you would be a multi-millionaire because of it?
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Dupree, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
This is Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks. You are listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Me. I'll see this again because my mic was on mute. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director of the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. And Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on YouTube/IE Network TV. The IE Network. Also, the social network. Facebook, aka Meta. And Twitter, of course. So, today is Monday, as usual, the 28th of February. Is the last day in the designated Black History Month. So we're going to be going over a little more of our list of films that you need to see in order to keep or earn your black card, right? We call it your black card. You know how you got certain movies that you just had to have seen if you black. We always talk, we've been talking about this all month, and we wanted to kind of wrap that up tonight, bring up a couple more films, highlight a few of them, and talk about them. Also, of course, the SAG Awards, it's award season, right? SAG Awards and the also the NAACP Image Awards was both happened over the weekend. SAG Awards being part of that, that run, that serious run that they have for award season with the Golden Globes, the SAG Awards, and then finally the Academy Awards, aka the Oscars. So we'll go over the winners. We'll go over the winners, and we'll go over the winners on both. Also, some movie news as usual. And we do have a special guest host tonight. We know we've been in search of our female Jedi council member. We've been in search for a female co-host. and we've been bringing females on, ladies, I should say, not just female, they're ladies, right? We're having guests come on pretty much every week for last month or so. This week, we have another actress, model. She do her thing, man. Meaghan Bloom will be with us today. She's gonna be joining us around 10 o'clock. So she'll join us for half the show. She'll come on. We'll kick it with her. She'll, and it'll be a good time like it always is. Let's see. Also, what else are we going to talk about today? Oh, just movie news and, of course, box office. Did anyone see the embargo's been lifted from the Batman, so some reviews have come in on that. Looking good so far. People seem to like it. Actually, Rotten Tomatoes, I think, made it. It's like the second highest rating of a Batman film behind Dark Knight on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm not sure what that means, but we'll see where it goes. Hold on. And then let's see. 1 second. Oh, wait. One moment. Got my people here. Trying to get some links. Let's go. There we go. Send them here. Yeah, there we go. All righty. So like I said, we'll be doing the black card stuff. Talk about that. That should be fun. Black card movies. And Ralph is skillfully put together, working tirelessly, putting this list together. So that's what's up. But anyway, the Batman is looking like, people are, having some good reviews on it. I don't take it too much, I take it with a grain of salt because I'm going to watch it myself and judge for myself. But hey, at least it's good news that somebody is feeling it. We'll see how it goes from there. That's pretty much that. We'll be talking about, of course, movie news. We'll get to that in a moment. The trending topics, things like that that's been going on. But first, as usual, we will check out the box office. Courtesy of BoxOfficeMojo.com. Last weekend, the weekend of February 25th through the 27th, Uncharted scored to 23.3 million. That led the box office, which now puts Uncharted at a worldwide total of 226 million, a domestic gross of 83 million. Okay, so it picked up. It did pick up. Dog made that's the movie with Channing Tatum, I think, right? I think that's him. Yeah, that grossed like 8 million. It's at 30 million domestically and 32 million worldwide. It didn't make anything internationally, really. That's not an international thing. And what do you know? Spider-Man No Way Home, still number 3 on the charts, made another 5 million. Now putting it still at 1.8 billion. All right, got that. We got Death on the Nile, made another 4.5 million, putting it at 101 worldwide, 32 million domestic. So that sequel didn't really do well. Then you got Jackass Forever, staying in at number 5, made 3.2 million. So the Jackass people and fans, they trying to support, I guess. It's at 68 million worldwide. That's pretty much, the Jackass movie and fans. So there you go. that's what's up. Let's see. People's messages. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much the top 5 movies of the box office. Box office is about to start, buzzing again. You got the Batman coming out. Right behind that, you're gonna have the Multiverse of Madness, and well, that's in like May, but still. So you got some buzzing going on. So that's cool. We appreciate you being here, you being there, we being here. You are listening to and watching Real Talk with the director and the Jedi Council. I am the director, in case you didn't know. And I brought my Jedi Council with me. And you don't believe me? Well, here they are. Ralph, Kev, Ralph, in the
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up? What's going on? Gentlemen.
Long day, man. Long day.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Well, welcome back, of course. And of course, shout out to the chat room. Everyone coming through, dropping some chats in there. Joseph Tanner, I see your list, baby. We're gonna we'll put some stuff up there. We'll pop some stuff on the screen. I see Joseph throwing stuff. Let me tell you something. Joseph's seen some black card movies, man. Joseph's seen some black card movies. Joseph ain't playing. That's what's up, man. Hey, man. We might have to print you one up, Joseph. At least get you a digital one and send it to you. Yeah, we'll pop some of that stuff up as we talk about it later. So as far as, let's see, I want to start with this. I'm gonna start with the trending topics and things like that, some of the news stuff. Then, of course, we'll get to the SAG stuff on the other side of the hour when our guest host joins us. So first thing, trending topic right here: Bel Air actor responds to the hate. Right. So, okay, I want to start off by saying people are jerks. People are just jerks. And I tell you, I'm going to say this. Everybody can get mad all they want. I've never witnessed more hate on, and this is on mostly on the entertainment side of things. Whether you are a rapper, a singer, or an actor, especially actors especially. I've never seen more hate coming on people or on black people than from other black people. It's just so annoying to me. It's so annoying. Not bad enough we as artists have to deal with the other side, we'll say. We'll just leave it that way. It's not bad enough we have to deal with the issues that we have to deal with as black artists and black creators. And yes, I am going to say it because I join these groups that are black, mostly focused on black art or whatever, right? Black films, whatever. And I see more hate coming from them than anything, and it's just so crazy. Not saying that this group was the one that was hating on this guy. So let's get to the story. All right, so Ali Shaloton, who is the guy who plays Carlton on the Bel Air show, he's been fending off a lot of hatred, not just because of the character. I mean, to me, I think he's doing a good job if everyone hates the character, right? But not only that, but he's been getting a lot of just criticism, whatever. Criticism. People have. No, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. People have the right to criticize if they want to. It's their opinions, and they're entitled to it. So that part of it, I don't care about. So it says here that he was. The actual article says new Carlton Banks actor responds to being called ugly by Bel Air fans. So now if you want to say that Carlton is ugly like all the way around, like the character, he's an a-hole and he's this and that. So anyway, So he has a tweet here on Twitter where I like how he handled it. He handled it well. He puts a picture, like a nice, cool picture of him as Carlton with the whole Bel Air thing on. So he's like, enough is enough. I'm tired. If you're gonna hate on Carlton, at least use a pic with more than 7 pixels.
Wow.
Then he says, this one here is HD. And you can see the detail in my sweater, a little powder under the nose. So he's like, he handled it, in my opinion, cool. Because I talked about this before. This is a recurring thing when it comes to characters. What I don't like is I love people to be invested in a character or a show. What I do not like is when people cannot separate the characters from the actors. That's when things get just too crazy. When it's like they dealt with this with Power. All the Power actors dealt with this, like firsthand. You had, Amari, and then they start getting into your personal life and crossing the worlds. They found out Amari Hardwick had a white wife, and they were dragging him on Twitter saying, "Oh, you supposed to be ghost. Why you got a white girl? Figures you get with a white girl." Like, what? Like, dude, this is my wife. She's my day one. Like, she, you know what I'm saying?
She was there before I got on the show.
Exactly. And it's like, he find himself explaining himself like, oh, like, dude, you ain't gotta explain yourself to nobody. That's your wife. So it happened all the time. Layla Lauren, who played Angie on the show. Same thing with her, played Angela. She's getting harassed by people, literally harassing her on the train, trying to cyberbully her, calling her a home wrecker, all this other stuff. Like, it's a character.
It's a TV show, bro.
It's a TV show. Same thing with young Michael Rainey Jr. Same thing. Even though, I can't stand that character. Everybody, but he took it too far. People coming up to, your father loves you. You need to act like, dude, he ain't my father. I got news for you. He's an actor. His name is Amari Hardwick. And he's not my father. You know what I'm saying? So now we have Bel Air, and they're about 4 or 5 episodes in. And now the Carlton character is super. He's kind of like the antagonist of the show. Like he's a super jerk, right? He's what they've really done with the show is took every character. Now let's remember, these characters are still the foundational of the characters of the original characters. But what they're doing is, they're pulling layers back. They're actually making the characters a little more deeper, and on top of that, it's told from a serious perspective, right? So it's just like you take Carlton, the original Carlton by Alfonso Ribeiro. He was, it was told from a comedic perspective, right? But Carlton had his
being a goofy motherfucker.
And he what'd you say?
And for being just goofy as
just being goofy, right? And it's told from that perspective. But he did have his little demons. He had his little dark side. They explored episodes like that in the original series. The time where he got bullied and he had the gun, and he's walking around with the gun. That was like a serious moment in the comedy, right?
Yeah, that was like one. I think that was like one of the deepest moments I had ever seen on television. That whole he's like, I want the gun.
It was deep.
He was like, wow.
He's like, I want that gun. Yeah, and he would, so like that. Then you had the other one when they called him a sellout, and he went off on the dude that called him. It's like, so I'm a sellout because I got money and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And when it, so like there was their moments, right? So now we got to this Carlton character. Obviously, there's more layers to him. He suffers from anxiety because he's pretty much like the most popular. he's pretty much the most popular guy in the Bel Air school. So that is one reason why he suffers from anxiety, trying to keep up appearances. So then, of course, he sniffs whatever coke. He said it was Xanax, but it was probably coke.
No, it's Xanax. He was crushing Xanax pills. It's Xanax.
Crushing the Xanax pills. So he sniffs Xanax pills to deal with his anxiety. And he's definitely got his demons. He's got his little, levels of whatever.
Because he's just like the other Carlton. He's excuse me for saying this, because we're not black and we're not African Americans, but he is the quintessential of, oh, I got money. I've chosen to shelter myself. And
he's privileged. He's black privileged. He's privileged. He's a privileged child.
I'm better than you.
He grew up with money. He grew up with money. He's privileged, and he's really on that. So what they really did was take the original story, because if you remember, in the original story, Will and Carlton didn't hit it off at first either.
You know, Carlton was just as goofy with the I'm not black,
right,
for lack of a better phrase.
Right. So I mean, he was running the "I'm not black, I'm OJ" type of vibe.
What's his name?
Okay.
He can call himself Brian Gumble. Brian Gumble.
Right. So obviously, it's told from a comedic standpoint at that point. Now it's told from a serious standpoint. This dude is seriously on some old real hater-ish with Will, and he's just. And certain now they're at a point where he is pretty much
spoilers.
Yeah, right. He's pretty much the, like I say, right now he's kind of like the antagonist of the story, because he, and it's gonna be like that for a while. Him and now what they did, now they threw another dynamic in, a female. They threw a girl in the mix. Now,
dynamic? Well, wait. You leaving one dynamic out though. There's a third dynamic that a second one to the girl is the father-son relationship, and he's taking the daddy from me.
Yeah, the father-son relationship, which is there, which they did explore a little bit in the comedy as well, but not really as deep as this. They're going deep with it because. That's what it is, He's seeing him. He saw him shooting hoops with Will and almost freaking pissed himself. He was so upset. And it's like, but the whole thing is like this. Once again, putting your problems and your issues on other people. You don't have you don't have the relationship with your father that you want. Maybe that's your fault. Maybe that's both of y'all. Who knows? But y'all need to work on that. Will is just here. He's here. He's just trying to make his way through. Also, I like how they brought in the character of they already had the character in Trey, which a character who was in the original series, played by Don Cheadle, actually. His boy from back when he came in that episode. It was like his boy from Philly. It's like the same. I don't know if he had the same name or he was the same character, but that was basically. These characters are basically based on the same thing. So now you're seeing it from the perspective of when you started in Philly and bring it here. So it's a good show, but back to the whole topic of everybody needs to just chill out. I mean, people are just so jerks, man. All right. All of the stuff that he's catching, some of the backlash I thought he was catching was, people were talking about his acting chops, saying whatever, he's not an actor. Okay, like I said, I don't have a problem with people voicing their opinion. If you look at something and you say, I don't think he's a good actor, that's fine. That's your opinion, right? But just think about this. If you really hate this character,
he's doing his job.
Then he's doing his job, right? So he can't be that bad of an actor. So big up to him.
I can't stand the Carlton character, so I know he's doing his job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that Carlton character, man. I swear, yeah. If I didn't know better, I'd walk up on him and punch him in his face if I saw him. But I wouldn't do that, obviously, because
that's why I say he's goofy as fuck.
Yeah, I mean he's got that classic Napoleon complex. Short dude.
For that, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, the Napoleon complex. That's another layer. They've really added. I have to give credit to Morgan Cooper. They really add layers to these characters, man. Yeah, they added layers to these characters, man. Now, granted, the characters were already. So this is a difficult thing to write to add to a character that already has been fleshed out. These are characters that everybody knew and lived with, but you're telling a story from a completely different perspective. So now you have to do some rebuilding of the characters. The most controversial that people are talking about is the Ashley character. The Ashley character is she's like gender curious, let's say that, bi curious, whatever. She has some interest in another female. And so that's been, let's just say, if you want to say controversial, quote unquote, been the most controversial rebuilding of a character. The Hillary character, they completely, she's not dingy, like I said, once again, you got to get rid of that other stuff out your mind. You have to get rid of that out your mind, because it's a comedy. So the young lady who played Hillary in the original, she played it brilliantly, because she is very. My Alexa keeps answering me. Shut up, Alexa. Jesus. Anyway,
Alexa, stop interrupting.
Yeah, exactly. Alexa, volume 0.
Hey, you better be careful with that. You ever seen that movie Lexi?
No, I have not.
Oh man,
is that what that's about?
It's about this guy, the guy that's from Pitch Perfect. Like he's lonely and he gets Alexa, right? But then he falls in love with this girl, and the girl is saying, you're relying on Lex too much. So he says, Alexa, shut off. And then so Alexa says, who is this bitch? And it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
Alexa just might vote on you.
Yeah, right. So basically, they so the Hillary character, she was so she played it brilliantly, the original girl, because she's a very intelligent woman, and she plays. It's always a smart person who plays a dingbat, right?
Yeah, and that Hillary in the original comedic version, she actually was smart.
No, that's what I said. She's a very smart woman. That's what I mean. No, Hillary herself, the character was smart. Yes, she just acted dingy, airheadish, but she actually was smart. Yeah, the character.
I don't know about that part. Wasn't she like a college? She was a college dropout, really? Wasn't?
Well, I mean, she was more of a college dropout because she just didn't want to do college, not because she flunked out. She didn't really.
She never went back, and then she got the job at the she got the job as the weather girl because of her looks.
Yeah. Right. Originally,
so she wasn't really like, I'm clearly qualified to tell the weather. She just got it because she was a good-looking chick in the dress. I hate to put it like that, but yeah. So,
no, I mean, no, that was the story. So yeah, that's why.
Does that make her smart? I don't know.
But there was episodes where they showed her intelligence. Yeah, there were episodes where they showed her being like, that she was smart. It's just the fact that
intelligence. She had intelligence.
Careless. Yeah, she was just careless, like carefree, not careless, carefree.
Yeah,
I'll go with that, carefree.
She was more carefree, yeah. So anyway, the new Hillary is more of a, she's not that. She's a rebel. She's definitely, but like I said, that's still elements of the original Hillary. Like I said, she didn't go back to college because she didn't want to do college. She didn't want that's not the route she wanted to go. She wanted to do something else. So she was already, trying to be like an individual thinker for herself. She wanted, finally, because she was, so dependent on the parents. And then finally decided she's going to try to do her own thing. Same thing with this one. It's just more modern because she's an influencer and stuff like that. So
because even back then, for what that Hillary represented, she was still entrepreneurial. She was still fashionably.
She was like a fashionista. Yeah, she was very fashionable.
Yeah,
very fashionable. Yeah.
very
trendy, staying up on trends. So she really was. All they did was take that, they built a little more on it and brought it into this world. That they more so updated her character and took away the airheadedness or whatever. And that's pretty much what they did. Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil, they're just as fleshed out as the original characters. You know what I'm saying? So, I think they really did a good job, with that line, trying to. So anyway, bottom line, to end this topic, people grow up. I mean, you can't sit here and throw darts at this guy for what? Because you don't like his character. You should be commending him. That means he's doing his job. If you don't like his character, you're not supposed to like his character.
People don't understand that, and they can't correlate the two to understand that if an actor is invoking emotion in you like that, if an actor is invoking any kind of emotion from you, they're doing they're to some degree they're doing their job. Outside of you outside of you disliking their performance,
right?
If anything about their performance, I don't like that. Like that makes you,
he's an asshole.
He's just a jerk. Yeah, whatever. And I speaking of performance, let me see if I can share my screen here. I just wanted to say something here. Share screen. And speaking of performance, I want to give a little shout out to this young man here, Javon Walton. He plays Ashtray on HBO's Euphoria. And I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you something. This young man, I think he's got a future. For 2 seasons, he has very little dialogue to deal with. They gave him very little dialogue, whether it's because he's a new actor, whatever case may be. But his character doesn't talk much. So, and I believe in the finale, I don't think he said one word.
Nope, he didn't say nothing. I thought he was going to say, "I'm sorry."
Right. But yet
something.
But here's the point. This is why I talk about performance. Because I still understood what he was saying, and he didn't even say nothing. That's acting. Because acting is beyond words. Acting is not just words on a paper or people speaking and talking. And you can act without talking. And you, like you just said, I thought he was gonna say sorry or whatever, I love you or something like that in that moment, because you saw it on his face. He was acting. You saw "I'm sorry" on his face, and he didn't say it. That's not easy to do, people.
Nope.
It's not easy to do. If you think, ask any actor. If you think it is, you're wrong. It's not easy to do. It takes practice. It takes, knowing your character. And this young man knew his character. His character is gangster, but
all the way
gangster. But he knew his character, and I just want to give him kudos. How about a round of applause for this young man with his performance, especially in the Euphoria finale, which is on HBO Max now. Oh, y'all, spoiler alert, whatever. Not going to talk about it. So, spoiler alert. But the finale didn't disappoint. I thought it was done well. And I thought it was fine. They kind of chilled Rue out a little bit, because all her madness came in the previous episodes. So they kind of chilled her out a little bit, because she's now at a point where she is she's on the road to recovery, right? So she's at that point. She's kind of like, I don't, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be 100% with you. I know this show is going to get renewed for I think it's already been renewed for 3rd season. If not, it will. But this episode was kind of like, if it didn't get renewed, it you could leave it where it is because of her on the road to recovery or whatever the case may be. But the way they shot it and the way that, you know, like I always give credit to this show for the acting is well done, the writing is awesome, and the editing on this show is just, to me, great. The way they bring, you know, like I said, it is not for everyone. They should put some trigger warnings up for some of the things they do, because it's very heavy-handed. I just use that word, but you know, because I actually know a person who watched it and you know, got triggered by it because she, you know, unfortunately had you know, encountered a situation that they showed. It was which that had to do with like rape or whatever, you know, so or sexual assault. So for that reason, I think they should put trigger warnings at the beginning. They do, you know, they do put the warning of, oh, this has this, that's nudity and violence, blah blah blah. But they should really put like a trigger warning when they know there's an episode that, you know, like the first episode, like in the first season or whatever, with when Cal, you know, basically had sex with Jules, you know what I'm saying? So he's having sex with a 15-year-old girl, you know what I mean? And you know, stuff like that, they should put trigger warning. But anyway, this show is great.
You know something? I'll be honest with you. That seems to be the one complaint about Euphoria, is that you're dealing with these really heavy subjects, a lot of nudity, but all these people are supposed to be teenagers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and not like 17 going into 18. We're talking like you said, 15,
they're like 15, 16, and that's the biggest.
The thing about it is, though, that's real life. That's been real life for decades.
I mean, no, it is real life, but people don't like to see it.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's real life, people don't like to see it. We know real life things. You know, pedophilia is real life, but no one wants to see it, especially on camera, you know, on screen. So, like I said, I give them credit for, and I give the guy credit for really telling his truth, because it is based on his life. And all I'm saying is, when you're dealing with imagery and people who are watching this, you do have somewhat of a responsibility to kind of put that trigger one. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
Yes, you do.
You really do.
You have a responsibility to put a trigger warning out there for people who might be. Now, if it's out there, your responsibility is met. Your responsibility is met if you put it out there. If someone decides to watch it anyway and they still get triggered by it, then your responsibility has been met.
People can be triggered by anything, just by what we're talking about. Just by having a conversation.
Exactly, they can be triggered by damn near anything, which is why you should put a trigger warning, especially more so with sensitive sensitive situations such as statutory rape, any type of forceful, you know, because regardless of these people that be in relationships and this, that, and the other, you know, you throwing somebody in bed and you forcing yourself on or whatever, that's still technically forcing, you know, sexual assault. It all falls under that.
Sexual assault.
Dude, I'm going to say that falls under that umbrella, regardless. Because we all know, not let me finish, Ralph. It all falls on that umbrella, because we know that when it comes to sexual assault, when it comes to, you know, rape, all of that stuff happens. Most of it statistically happens within relationships. So that stuff right there, if you're going to show it, that's fine. If it's part of the story, show it. But and violence, domestic violence, that's happened in the show. Everything has happened from domestic violence. You can argue sexual assault, you know, statutory rape. All of that stuff has happened on this show. All right. That stuff needs to be, you need to put a trigger warning out there, period, for stuff like that. And that's once you do that, and it's simple. It's a simple few words on a screen. You can do it, and it is very necessary. You have a responsibility when you're showing stuff like that. Yes, you do. As a creator, you do.
Wait, I'm gonna say it like this. On one hand, Wes, you're right. You should put a trigger warning. But on the other hand, Kev is absolutely right. No, you don't. And the only reason I'm going to side with you a little bit on this subject is because they are giving the idea that these are young teenagers. If this was a college era show, they same thing, then I would sit there and say no, because we could sit here right now. We could point to a list of movies, right, or television shows that have dealt with these subjects before, and where Kev has come from, which is what sometimes I feel that way. Now everybody wants to be pre-warned, or everything has to be put out there. Like no, like you want, like you talk about statutory rape. Did we or did we not see that in What's Love Got to Do with It? Have we not seen people rape before? Have we not seen domestic violence before? We have seen this all in the history of movies and television. So now that you got this super successful show on HBO, I don't know. I don't think now that they got to break the mold and put it. The only reason I sit there and say they should is because you're talking that these people on this show
are supposed to be they're supposed to be kids.
Like I said, if it was like 17 going into 18, that might even work. But you're talking about 15, 16 years old. Now, for that age group, this is a heavy thing to do, because they will sit to say, "Oh, I might know someone that's going through that in my school." The girl right next to me, the guy next. That's a different story, and that's the only reason why I'm going to side with you on this. Anything else? Nope. No.
Well, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, now granted, depending on how you consider trigger warnings and stuff like that, there are still there are plenty of films and TV shows that do put that warning up. They don't say trigger warning, but they'll say this show includes so and so rape. I've seen that. I've seen it.
But it says at the beginning of Euphoria when
they don't. I didn't see anything about rape in there. It does say violence, nudity, all stuff like that.
The one episode, I can't swear, I believe the one episode where it does deal with rape, it did say rape in it. But if then they may not even consider that rape. They may consider it strong sexuality,
right?
Or serious sexuality, right? But this is the thing. Like I said,
I would have to detail and go back to the episode where Calvin, had sex with Jules. That's statutory rape. Period.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. That's the only. But that's the only reason why I'm a savage. And like I said, if this was like college, that's a different story. But because you're dealing with the fact that these people are 15, 16 years old, maybe you do need to put that out there. Now, season 3 come out, they will all be graduating. So now you're dealing with them as young adults. So now, I mean, yes, you still got to put strong sexuality, nudity, all that.
You got to put your regular stuff. And like I said, don't get me wrong. They put that in the beginning. They do put strong sexual content, blah, 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 blah. So that's, right there. It's the first thing it says. And like I said, I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying I'm just putting that out there. So that's the only knock that they have gotten or whatever. So, with that being said, it's still a great show. And not only do they put what they put their regular warnings in the front, they even put in the back of it, on the back end, they do put, if someone is struggling with drugs, text Euphoria to this, get them help, stuff like that. So they even offer help, at the end of, of the show, whatever. So other than that, that's what it is. But like I said, I mean, I'm just going off of a friend of mine that didn't really know what she was getting into, and, kind of got caught with it, So, and when it comes to people that's been through trauma like that, we have no right to say that no one shouldn't, whatever. We have no right to speak on that at all, because if it comes to people that have been through trauma, like I said, we have no right to speak on stuff like that. So, that's why I'm saying wouldn't hurt them to do it, because it's a few words on a screen. I did a music video
have no
where
right to speak.
I did a music video where with Jamela, the artist Jamela was talking about domestic violence. It's a music video, and there was some violence, domestic violence in it, right? Obviously, I put a trigger warning at the front. Why? Because, hey, I guess I care. If nobody else does, then they don't, but I do, and because at that point it puts me in a position where I'm like, hey, maybe this is not for you. I'll even risk people not watching my product because I don't want people to watch my product and get quote unquote triggered by it, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why I did it.
But see, here's the thing, and now I think where Kevin's coming from. If that's the case, then anybody that's got a problem or has a problem in life, ever had a problem in life, including myself, you never know what you could watch is going to sit there and trigger something.
Yeah, well, trigger. Yeah, but see, at that point, then whatever is whatever. We're dealing with sensitive topics such as rape or domestic violence or things like that. So when you can have it, when you can do it, and it took me less than 2 minutes to type that up on the screen and put it in front of my video.
So everything, especially nowadays, everything's a sensitive topic for most people. Nothing is quote unquote unsensitive. Everything's sensitive. If you if you accidentally blow on somebody's cupcake, they're fucking tripping. I mean, it's wrong.
Yeah, but that's just that.
This is not to minimize anybody's trauma or to minimize.
It is though, Kev. It is by saying that saying what you're saying is minimized.
But wait a minute. What I think Kevin is saying is there. Once again, we're not trying to minimize what anybody has gone through in their life, but movies tell a particular story. Exactly. If you just take the last 20 years, matter of fact, just look at all those movies that I picked out for the Black Card. How many of those movies and how many have dealt with domestic violence, rape, murder? You know what I'm saying? Contracting AIDS. I mean, hell.
All of that, but all of that stuff is taken care of with the ratings, right? The rating system it's rated a certain way for certain things, right? So that's good enough.
Is or is not Euphoria when it first comes on? Is it not rated TVMA? Mature audiences. So if it says it's TVMA, then you would sit there and think, well, wait a minute. If it's a mature audience, they're not going to be talking about sunshines and cupcakes. There's going to be some serious subject matters coming up in this thing. Now you may be well not aware of what this particular episode is going to delve into. I agree with that one. But if
like I said, and the person who I'm talking about obviously is a mature person, an adult that went through trauma, that I guess that I'm assuming that she saw on the screen. I don't know what episode it was, and whatever. But so, yeah, of course, still a mature person, still a mature audience, and understand that it's for mature audiences. Doesn't mean, like I said, I can only speak for myself, as a creator, I can only speak for myself. As a creator, I feel I'm going to tell stories that I want to tell, regardless, whether it is triggering to people or not. I'm going to tell my story the way I want to tell it. That's why I said I'm fully behind Euphoria for telling the stories the way they do. I'm going to tell my story the way I do. It may not make everyone happy. But I do feel, for me, I do understand that certain people have gone through certain traumas that I may not even fully understand because I haven't gone through it, right? So to me, it's nothing to put that in front of what I'm about to show. If I know, I'm not going to focus on somebody being triggered for something stupid. I only focus on stuff that is triggering. That's historically triggering, and it's been
Okay,
going on for years.
let me stop you for a second. Let's go back to the plain. Let's just go back to the series Plain and Dirty, the trailer. Okay, you got an image of there of Zasha being strung up by some dude choking her out on a wall. Now that could be certainly
that could be
something.
triggering. Yeah, that could be triggering. Yeah.
You got an idea of a woman on the run because the cops are looking for her for something she may or may not have done.
Yeah, I don't really call that triggering, but yeah, the violence part most definitely.
Yeah,
violence
you
part.
know, hell, you even got the brief snippet of.
But we did put a warning before the actual film. We didn't do it in the trailer. That we did not do, but we did put a warning for the actual joint. Yeah. Because that stuff that's in there. But no, we did not put a trailer.
That's what Kevin's saying. It's like every single thing nowadays, someone's going to.
I know that, but I mean,
just by listening to the show,
the triggering that I'm talking about.
But what did she say on the show?
It's been going on for years and decades and stuff like that.
But what did the young lady say on the show last night? Sometimes people need to get their feelings
hurt. Yeah.
And
sometimes people need to get their feelings hurt. Yeah, so I quoted that. I even posted that and quoted it.
Yeah, and we're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings at all. But you got to understand that we're telling this story. And while Boo Boo or Homie, I'm sorry that you had that's this particular thing brings back a bad memory for you. But I'm not the only person that's going to present this form of your bad memory. You know, I mean. I was just looking at Basic Instinct.
Well, I mean, like I said, it wasn't like she was going crazy about it. She just basically told me, "Oh man, I started watching it, and I turned it off." She did what you should do if it's something that She's like, "I just turned it off because it was just whoa." You know what I mean? I was like, "Hey, it's a little crazy." But so anyway, but that's that. I wanted to.
I didn't like last night's the ender. I didn't like it because there was too much storyline that got put to the side that they just. I don't know if they're saving it for season 3. Maybe that's why. But and this is not a spoiler alert unless you haven't seen this entire series. But the whole issue with that drug dealer got pushed to the female drug dealer got pushed to the side. Like that's got to resolve that issue. Right, because that chick is not just say, "Well, okay, you slipped up. That's it." No, no, oh.
Right.
But I'm saying this right now. Next year's Emmys, make sure Best Supporting Actress. It's going to be that girl Sylvia Sweeney.
Yeah,
she is the blonde. She is going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, she did well.
She did a
she did good, man.
She did a damn fine job this year. I was impressed. I was like, wow.
I didn't even realize that the one that plays her sister is Judd Apatow's daughter.
Yep.
I didn't even realize that.
The girl that kept saying "fucking this is 40." Yep. Kept cursing her parents out.
I didn't even realize. I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. I tell you, man. Yeah, she. I think that the blonde. She'll get.
She's gonna get recognized for it. Yeah. She really will. She deserves it. And depending on who else is in competition with her, she just might have won it. She just might have won it. Because man, now that's the triggering part for a lot of people, where your best friend snatches your man or your girl and then throws it up in your face, like you like. Bitch.
Nah, but Maddie is my chick, man. She's so yeah. You gotta love that. I mean, it's funny because she's just wild, man.
Now I would have liked to see that part. She did her signature.
She did her signature move. She did her signature move, or not the slap, the booing against the wall. That was like every time they showed Maddie throughout this series, like beating somebody up. She was slamming their head into a locker or something like that on a wall. Yeah, it's just funny. I'm just like, wow, you knew it was coming too. And
but I would have liked.
She had the best line.
I would like seen a little bit more of that interaction when she finally gets her hands on her. Like,
she had the best line. She said, "Yo, this bitch got to be put down."
It is now, bitch.
No, she said needs to. She said, "No, this chick needs to be put down. And then she got up and I said, yo, I can't.
Like,
Yo, it was just
good.
crazy. It was real gangster. It was real gangster. But that was, I tell you, and Lexi's play was gangster altogether. It was just straight, just pulling the curtain. It was just putting everybody on blast. It was crazy. But the way they edit that show is really cool, and like it's really, I don't know, like coming from an editor, it's different. Like it's definitely not traditional editing, but it's like the way they're telling the story. You trying to figure out is all this happening in real time? Did all this happen at this time? All this but the way they do it, it does flow though. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, the editing on this show is phenomenal to me. I think the acting is good. I think the writing is great. And I think the editing is very good. All of the other stuff like in between, falls into place. But yeah, it's cool, man. But one more trended topic. We'll see. We did talk about. We talked about it a little bit last week, but with the Rust situation, we'll get back to that. Did you see there was an interview with Helena Hutchins' husband, and he's talking to Hoda, whatever her name is, but he's talking to her, and he's basically saying when he watched the Alec Baldwin interview, he was very cringy because, he said it made him angry because he felt, Alec deflected and did not take any responsibility whatsoever. So what he was saying, because, I think he was referring to where Alec said, he said something along the lines of, someone is responsible for this incident. I don't know who, I don't know why, but I know it's not me. All right. That was his comment or whatever. I think the dude's coming from a perspective of, I'm sure, and no one expects Alec Baldwin to say, I'm the culprit, or anything like that. But I guess what he said was there was no responsibility taken by him.
No responsibility for it.
And he said, so I guess that's more than one reason why they're doing the wrongful death. The wrongful death suit is against the production. I'm sure it's against the producers of the film.
Yeah, but Alec Baldwin is being made out to be the scapegoat. So here's my question.
Political love. That's that. But see, that side of it is a political thing, because the damn.
I think. I get you, Kev. I'm just saying about the guy, the husband himself. He didn't say in the interview that Alec Baldwin. I didn't think he was making Alec Baldwin out to be a scapegoat in the interview, because he never said like it's his fault that my wife is dead,
But he wants them to feel responsible, and he shouldn't.
He shouldn't. Alex Baldwin should, because everybody's talking about because this woman died and tragic. But look at it this way: what if Alec Baldwin took the gun and he was looking at it and was pressing the trigger and he actually shot himself? Would anybody out there be having this level of remorse? Would anybody be saying, "Oh my God"? Would we saying, "Oh, it was such a tragedy. We don't know what happened"? But because somebody else got shot, same thing, accidentally. There was a real slug that one should have been put in there. Now everybody wants to blame Alex like it was his fault.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that I got the problem with. If
the whole tie into is because of his SNL skits and because of his comedic things about making fun of what's his face, the Vice President Cheney, when he accidentally shot dude or whatever the case may be.
That's
that wasn't
definitely,
no accident that Cheney did. That was intentional. That wasn't no accidental. That was intentional.
That's like,
difference.
You have that side of it. like I said, the production itself is definitely there's definitely responsible. When I think what he means by, and I'm not speaking for this gentleman, obviously. What I would, if I was in his shoes, I would think more so the fact that the producers, and Alec Baldwin is one of the producers, they do have to take some sort of responsibility for the non-safety of the set. That's a bottom line. So yes, where I believe that Alec Baldwin should not be blamed for the accident happening, I also believe that Alec Baldwin, along with the other producers, have to take some responsibility for not having a safe set.
But my question,
that's what he meant by he took no responsibility.
But my question is still this: if Alec Baldwin was to turn around, he grabbed the gun. Now he's taking his safety people check the gun. If he was to go around there and he went looking at the gun
himself,
and shot himself,
Shay shot and killed himself, then Alec Baldwin's family should also bring a wrongful death lawsuit because the production did not have the safety measures that they should have had.
But here's the question. But here's the question: if that scenario would have happened, who would Alec Baldwin's family go looking at to deal with? Say
the producers,
right?
That's the first people that they go after.
So the only person being gone after right now is Alec Baldwin. Whether he's
that's not true because this wrongful death lawsuit is against all of the producers.
That's in the court of public opinion.
Yeah, that's just the court of public opinion. The people who are being named on this lawsuit are the producers, not just Alec Baldwin. He's one of the producers, but there's other producers.
But ultimately, it's good. But ultimately,
because he's the public figure, so that's the one. That's the only one that the news cares about.
But ultimately, it's going to boil down to who was hired to make sure that this was supposed to be taken care of responsibly. And that's who the responsibility is ultimately going to fall.
I half agree with that because it's not just about who was hired; it's about who hired them as well. It's not just about who was hired. Because if you're gonna go get if you're gonna hire someone who's not qualified to do a job, you're just as responsible as that person because you shouldn't have hired them.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yes, you are.
No, you're not.
I agree with that. Yeah, you really are.
Not if that person presented himself in a manner to say, "Hey, look, this is what I do for a living. This is what you're hiring."
I agree with you, but you gotta check that out.
If you signed a contract stating, "This is what I was hired to do. This is what I'm here for," and you do not fulfill that contract, you are the one that's responsible.
You're not just the only one responsible because it is your job as a producer to vet your people. It's your job as to verify who these people are and what and the bottom line is they knew what her experience was. She never hid that. She never tried to lie about that. The armorer we're talking about. They knew that her experience was only one film or whatever it was. They knew that. They hired her because they got her on the cheap. That's why they hired her. Her father is a very experienced armorer, but that's her father. So they knew that. It's not like, and that would be very hard to prove in court. That now you gotta go a whole nother story, and now you gotta go to court and say this woman lied on her application and said she did 10 films when she only did 2, or whatever. That's gonna be tough to unless you have paperwork that actually says that's gonna be tough to prove. So even with that, now in that case, I agree with you, Kevin. If it was a deception type of thing, then I agree with you. They're not as they don't hold the same responsibility because they were deceived, right? But and I'm talking about it'd have to be a big deception, more than just giving a resume. I mean, because once again, you need to vet your people and find out what exactly this person does. And it wasn't just the armorer, though. Remember, there was a lot of safety hazards broken on this set, which caused crew members to walk out on the set.
Right.
So it caused crewmen to leave this project due to the lack of safety measures. That is on the producers and no one else. That is on the producers of the film. There's no way around it. They have to do everything in their power to assure a safety set and follow all safety guidelines. That's on the producers. And that's with anything. We can take it all the way down to COVID. You know what I'm saying? COVID compliance. If your COVID compliance ain't right and your film is shut down because everybody gets COVID, then it's your fault. So we'll table this and get back to that, and we will bring on our guest. She's in the green room right now, and I think we just lost her. She was in the green room, and she's at StreamYard's giving her a little bit of trouble. She's gonna reload. All right, cool. So we'll get her back in as soon as she reloads and gets back on. Yeah. So anyhow, regardless of the fact, yes, Alec Baldwin is going to be in the media. That's the one that people are going to go after because he's the big face. Right.
He's the juice.
He's the big face. He's the story. No one cares about Joe Schmo, producer, who might have been the person who hired the armorer in the first place and might be the person ultimately that goes down for this. But no one cares about him until he actually goes down for this. Then he'll be news. Then they'll go talk to him. And but right now it's Alec Baldwin. He's the big name. He's the face. And yes, you have all types of. Of course, you got conservative media that's definitely going for his neck, but you got liberal media too. That's just reporting whatever they're reporting, and this is what's going to happen. I'm sure he knew that this was going to happen. But the bottom line is what I think, and this is just purely my opinion. I do not speak for the gentleman, Mr. Hutchins, but I think that when he said Alec Baldwin took no responsibility, I believed right out the gate, I didn't think anything about the shooting. I thought because he is an executive producer of the project, he's a producer of the project, and at least that responsibility you have to take. At least that. I don't think you should. Definitely, you're not going to say that ain't normal for you to say an accident's an accident. You're not going to say whatever. I think that he meant, and that's my opinion, I think that he meant the fact that Alec, along with the other ones, are produced because the other ones are also trying to give away responsibility. They went as far as to try to, they were trying to discredit the one of the crew guys that walked off and said that they, that they weren't following safety codes and stuff like that. They're like, they got their lawyers trying to discredit this guy in the media and stuff like that. It's just like, dude, you can't get away from it. You're the producer of the film. You did not follow the right safety guidelines. Let's see if she's back. If she's back, I think she's in the green room now. But yeah, I think no matter what, I'm gonna end it with this. I do not believe Alec Baldwin. I do believe it was an accident, and I do believe that someone else is like fully responsible for it. The bullet or whatever. But there's no getting around that the producers are gonna have to. They're definitely all taking some sort of an L for this.
So now here's my next question.
The insurance
if you really believe that
we don't even know if they had insurances,
right?
But the way they was moving,
the way they did this film and didn't have insurance, that's just crazy.
I'm sure they probably
the
had
way they was moving.
Insurance.
They probably had the minimum. I mean, they were cutting corners left and right.
But here's my question. Now here's my question. I don't think no one's thinking about. I think, like you just said, and I agree. I think that somebody wasn't doing their job. So could we look at someone was trying to kill Alec Baldwin and make it look like an accident?
Say that again.
Do you think somebody was trying to kill Alec Baldwin and make it look like an accident?
Trying to kill Alec Baldwin? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we may never know, but I think let me just try.
Because think about it a second. Somebody would have had the person to check this firearm, right? And most actors, I would imagine, if they had a gun, they would test it to be sure that it clicked, that it worked. But you wouldn't put a round in. But now you got a live round in there. So the only actor that would have came to test that gun, and I'm talking about just actors, was the person going to use it, which would have been Alec Baldwin. And what if he really did testing it out and pulled it back to be sure it fires or get an idea that fires, and he really shot himself, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody had to put the live round in. It was like he took it out of his pocket and put the round in the chamber to do it. Somebody did it. Right?
Yeah, somebody put the round in
That's
there.
What I'm saying. Exactly. So just thinking about it like that one, could you come with the idea that someone was trying to kill Alec Baldwin,
kill Alec Baldwin, yeah,
right, and make it look like an on-set accident,
right? Or you can speculate and even say maybe someone was trying to frame Alec Baldwin. You never know. That could be possible as well. But that we don't know. But I think let me see. I'm taking a screenshot because I'm still trying to help Meaghan get her microphone going. I think let me just do this here. Send her this screenshot. Yeah, but I think that it's very possible that it could have been a setup. It's very possible, but at the same time, that part of it is a whole different story. It still doesn't change the fact that the production did a terrible job. Okay, I think she's good now. Let's get her in. Let's see. Have her turn her camera on. Let me just make sure the camera's on. Turn your camera on. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but I think this is going to be crazy. But I mean, the wrongful death lawsuit, that's a whole nother thing. Obviously, from the they're not going to be looking at that. That's just going to happen, and they better hope to God that they had some sort of decent insurance. But the way this production was moving, they probably had the minimum of insurance, which is probably like $1 million. Like
I would say $500,000. That's all it was. It was $500,000.
So as we've been doing, we've been bringing on special guests pretty much all month. We have another one with us tonight. Young lady's gonna come on and join us, hang out with us. I know she's probably been hearing us talking. Actress Meaghan Bloom's with us. What's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you.
Thank you for having me. How is everybody?
Of course. We're good. We're good. You know Kev. Kevin is one of our co-hosts. And Ralph, this is Meaghan.
Hi, Meaghan.
Hello.
I had pleasure to work with this young lady, and she's a very good actress, I have to say. On one of my projects,
with a
strong actor, and she kicks ass too. So
it's true.
Yeah.
You say that like that's a bad thing. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, that's all good. That's all good. And of course, you might even know because also Ralph, you probably recognize her from Demetrius stuff, right?
That was a long time.
That was a while ago, right? Yeah. The what was the series? It was the
it was the Seals. Yeah.
The Seals. Yeah. Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. I think I actually first met her at like a Comic-Con or something. I think they was there. I might have first saw you there, right? The New York Comic-Con.
I think so. We had that like big old banner of us.
Yeah, it was dope. They they lock it down over there all the time, and they had the whole series.
I think I have pictures of you at the booth.
Probably so.
Probably.
Yep. She was the one towering over everyone else.
That's right.
That's the one. But yeah, so that's when I first seen her and met her. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I met Lexi Child, I think, the same day. I think I might have met Lexi Child the same day. Yeah, so sorry, Demetrius, I'm stealing your actors. My bad. Yeah, they're good actors, so I don't know what to say. But yeah, so how you been? How you been, Meaghan?
You know, we're all in pandemic times and just doing what we can do, and productions are coming back, which is nice. Doing some
it's
commercial work here and there, and yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's slowly, surely getting back. You know, still, you know, they doing the COVID guidelines. How many times you had to get swabbed for your commercial?
Oh my God. All the time. Now they even hire COVID backup actors now. That's like a pandemic era thing where like
COVID
even if they're not
background
the main COVID backup actor.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Like they hire someone to be the actor, but then they hire me in case it's positive, then I go on set instead.
Wow, it's kind of like almost like an understudy, right? Like with theater.
No, that's
exactly, yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Well, we're not going to put the actor to any kind of danger, but well, you just get on up there in the front and say those lines.
Yeah, it does sound kind of like what?
Yeah, we're gonna cough. We're just gonna cough and sneeze all over you, and you go home and get sick. We'll keep the actors safe.
Keep the actors safe. Yeah, it's. I mean, I had I did, you know, in preparation for what's to come with productions. You know, I went and got my, you know, went and took the classes and got the COVID compliance officer certificate, you know, just so I know what's going on. And also, I really just did it so I you know, I plan to hire people to do that, but I really just did it so I know that the person that I hire knows what they're doing. That's really why they're like, okay, I want to make sure the person I hire knows what they're doing, because I already know what it is. So yeah,
this thing is so crazy because now we're having this conversation, and I'm just like it's just clicking on me now because I actually stepped away from my phone, but it's clicking on me. It's just clicking to me who Meaghan is now. I'm just realizing we did the Mannequin project together. The Mannequin did together.
That's why I said you already know Kevin.
And I'm thinking, and the only reason why I thought about it, because I'm like, because that was pre-pandemic, and I'm like, imagine trying to do something like that now with COVID. Like,
oh God,
you could do it if everybody's 6 feet away,
right?
Because like literally doing that thing, I was a bystander, so I was a little bit further away from everybody, but everybody was pretty much on top of each other.
Yeah.
Like it's like we live
next to each other.
Yeah.
Right next to each other. It's boggling my mind now. And when you said the thing about the COVID actors stepping in, it just brought back that whole flood of everything. Like, wow. Like,
man, that's crazy, right? Yeah. I'll tell you, man, it's something. But yeah, at least you said, you know, at least some of the productions are getting back and doing, you know, they're just really, you know, because like series and stuff like that. I know a lot of people that were like, remember when we had on what's my man name, David Chen, when we had him on, you know, he was talking about how you know, like Law and Order or something like that, they'll literally like cast, because he was a stunt performer, so like they'll literally cast the stunt performer team, and that's it. Like once you're on it, you're on it. Like it wasn't like how it used to be where, you know, you get called one day and then maybe 3 weeks later you get called again to come on Law and Order or something like that. Now it's just like we're hiring our staff and they're on it, and that's the project you're on, and they were trying to like quarantine them and stuff like that. So it's like
I got a friend of mine. He's on Anthony Anderson.
Say that again.
He's doing a friend of mine. He's on the reboot of Law and Order. He's the stunt double for Anthony Anderson. That's his job.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but he's probably on that project, and that's it for now.
Probably so.
That's probably because whatever time it takes up from him, he's probably on it. But it's probably like, ugh. But anyway, COVID. We all know COVID sucks. I actually had COVID.
God.
Yeah, I had it just recently. I just finally got a negative test back. It seemed like that crap stayed in my system forever. It took me forever to get a negative test. But yeah, I had it. It sucked, but I'm still here. So, yeah, it was. I'm still here. See, but it's it really is crazy, man. This whole thing is just nuts, and yeah, man, it's just. Whew. But anyhow, we all know about that. Let's talk about some stuff, man. Now, Meaghan, let's ask you this.
Okay.
Are you? We already know that you're a movie maker. Are you a movie lover?
I am, though I must say that I am embarrassed that I haven't watched a lot of the things. All the awards that just happened, a couple different award shows. I catch up.
Don't feel bad.
No, it's like
don't feel bad.
A lot of people. Yeah, these award shows, man, and then one of our faithful fans will welcome you to the show. There, Joseph Tanner. He said, "Welcome to the show, Meaghan."
Hey.
He's one of our day ones. He's one of our day one supporters. So big up to you, Joseph Tanner. He always welcomes our guests because he's like an extended part of the show. So in the chat room, he's in there holding down the chat room. So yeah, he's filmed up there. As far as we're gonna go into let's go into the SAG Awards stuff and things like that. I mean, I very rarely watch the SAG Awards, to be honest with you. I did watch it last night. I don't know why I watched it, but I did watch it. I just had nothing to do. So I was just like, I'm going to watch the SAG Awards. And it was decent. It was cool. It was a nice watch. They were talking about COVID too. I noticed that, and I wonder if they did this because there was an article that came out last week, and we talked about it on our show last week about how the Oscars have their COVID guidelines are very wacky. They're basically saying if you are going to be there in a nominee or a guest, you have to be vaccinated, right? Plus, tests. If you're a performer or a presenter, you do not have to be vaccinated.
What?
But you have to be subject to rigorous testing. I don't understand what they were talking about, but I was like, so performers and presenters does not have to be vaccinated, but sometimes presenters are still people who are nominated. Some of the nominees present too, don't they? I've seen that happen before. So it's like
absolutely.
So nominees have to be vaccinated, but the presenters don't. I don't get the logic. I mean, my only guess was that they didn't want to so-called ridicule anybody because they still want to be able to have performances and stuff like that. Because when they do performances, doesn't this
do them at separate locations? Do the performers outside on the stage by themselves?
But that's what they don't. Kev, that's what they don't want to do. That's ridiculing people.
Y'all stay out.
How is that? You don't want to be vaccinated? No problem. Do your song outside. Okay?
Oh my God!
I'm gonna be honest. You know what they should do. You know what they should do. I'm gonna be honest with you because I'm gonna be out there. I'm leaving LA the day of the Oscars. Honestly, if you really want to do the Oscars and people be vaccinated or not, do it on Hollywood Boulevard. You can shut. I mean, because, and I'm saying this because of this.
You mean like do it outside? Like
do it outside. Do it outside.
Right,
do the whole thing outside.
Do the whole thing outside. And I'm saying this because because
outside, yeah,
right, because the theater, the Kodak Theater, as it used to be called, is right behind Grumman's Chinese Theater. It's right behind it. Right, it's like a strip mall area. Grumman's Chinese Theater is the Kodak Theater is behind Grumman's Chinese Theater, and it's right across the street from the El Capitan. But they will shut that part of Hollywood Boulevard down for a red carpet premiere where they have the people walk. When you see like Marvel, when they have them walking, they shut a big chunk of that street down so that people can walk the red carpet. Do the whole show outside. Do it all outside.
I mean, you could do that. They could do the show outside.
Yeah.
Listen, even if you did that, you still have to seat people. And listen, why can't it be just this simple? Okay, you're nominated. You're a presenter. You're a performer.
Right.
Those are the only people that are invited to the party. The rest of you stay home. Even if you're an Academy, member, if you're not here, if there's not a reason for you to be here, stay around home. Like why are you out? Why are we making this more difficult than what it is? And then 3 weeks later, when you're like, oh, XYZ got COVID. Oh, this one got COVID. Oh, that one got COVID. Oh, well, could that have been avoided if we would have just had people who needed to be there and them be vaccinated? Or how about this? Just wear a mask.
Yeah, it's where I'm at. So that the reason why I brought that up is because that article from last week. So the SAG Awards started off pretty much with like not a disclaimer, but they kind of like explain like that, you know, the I guess the precautions that they took. They basically explained the precautions that they took about this, that, and the other. And I thought that was interesting when I saw it, because I was like, oh, I said they see all of the backlash that the Oscars was getting, so they decided let's nip this in the bud and tell you right from the beginning the precautions that they took, because you know another thing that always comes under fire with these award shows when they see all these people up in there with no masks. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, oh, y'all up in here just on some super spread type ish. Y'all ain't got no masks, nothing. So they like, yeah, you know, this and that. So it's weird. So anyhow, last night they had, you know, there was a couple of, milestones, whatever, and firsts that happened. I know the outstanding performance by a cast went to the cast of Coda, which predominantly was a deaf cast. Yeah. Predominantly cast as deaf. They had the one character that wasn't deaf, you know, in the family, right? So I thought that was interesting. That was cool. They went up there. They won the full cast ensemble, and then you have, obviously outstanding.
Squid Game won some stuff.
Yeah, Squid Game won two people, the main guy and the young girl. Yeah, they both.
Yeah.
Not even interested in saying it. Not even interested.
Oh, Squid Games, yeah.
Yeah, not even interested.
Ralph.
Yeah.
Ralph.
I'm
telling you, Ralph, you will enjoy it.
No, right now I am not interested. Right now I am not.
When I say that I didn't really enjoy it, I didn't even finish it. So if I didn't finish it, that means I didn't really enjoy it.
You didn't finish it?
Nah.
Oh dang.
I mean, I know how it finished. I know how it ended. But I didn't finish it. I didn't bother to watch it because it didn't really hit. It didn't hit for me.
It did take me a number of episodes to really get into it.
Yeah,
but once
it didn't hit for me. I do realize that.
Episode 4.
Yeah, I do realize, and someone else told me that too. I do realize that, you know, the story got a little better as it went on, but I think. Nah, it just didn't hit for me. I was like, this is dumb. That was my first thing. I was like, this is dumb. I don't like it. I tried, you know, I gave it a shot. I think I gave it 2.5 episodes, and I was just like, I'm out.
Oh, you didn't get far enough, yeah.
I didn't get far enough, yeah. So I was like, I'm out. I'm tapping out. But they did win, but that's cool that they got those wins. The young girl that her speech was touching, because she was crying during it, and it was very nice. She talked about how, what I do like about these sometimes with the SAG Awards speeches, a lot of them, because you're talking to your peers, right? So, you're usually telling stories. You hear this a lot in these acceptance speeches. You're telling stories about how you always dreamed of being an actor, right? Always dreamed of being an actor, or the people who they was up against, they might have had admired them or whatever, or looked up to them as, oh my God, I can't believe I won against these are the people I look up to, blah blah blah. So you hear a lot of those type of speeches, but they're still cool. It's still cool to hear. Right? And that's what you should be hearing. Everyone is actors. I think my God, what is Dame? What is her name? Oh my God, who got the Lifetime Achievement Award? Her name escapes me. Yeah, got the Lifetime Achievement Award. I'll just look it up. Okay, her name escapes me right now. Yeah, I'm just saying. Let me just look it up. I got the power of the internet. But she had a great speech too, man. She just talking about
Helen Mirren.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Helen Mirren. Yeah, Dame Helen Mirren. Yeah. She
right, get it right, Dame
Helen Mirren. Yeah, she had a great acceptance speech talking about just being an actor. You know what I mean? Like the power behind it, meaning like what they telling stories and stuff like that, make it different. Actually, Michael Keaton had said something like that too, and he had a really good touching speech when he talked about his nephew that he recently lost, and but he also talks about being lucky to be able to work on a film like the film that he won for, that could actually make a difference in somebody's life with the roles and stuff like that. Hey man, you're an actor, Meaghan, so I'm sure this stuff probably resonates with you when it comes to
Absolutely.
stuff like that. When it comes to how everyone's I always wanted to be an actor, and since I was a child I always dreamed of being an actor, and then they're at this point now where you're being recognized by all your peers, that you did your thing. I would believe that would probably those awards mean something, like
you have to be recognized by your peers, by those people that you grew up looking up to, by the people that you work with that you look up to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta be the dream.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So Will Smith. What'd you say?
The SAG Awards honestly should be the only one that really matters.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's peer to peer. It's
right.
It's actor to actor, because the Academy are made up of a lot of people. It's not just actors. It's made up of actors.
And it's made up of people who don't even matter, who can't even give an honest, who don't. To be honest with you, sometimes don't even watch the films.
Yeah,
they're
right. It's very political. It's very politically driven. Yeah,
politically driven. Yeah, and that's just crazy.
Kevin Spacey was better than Denzel Washington. Get the fuck out of here. No,
not that year. That's
that
for
year.
sure. I love Kevin Spacey's work, but nah, not that year.
Not that year.
Well, that does bring up a good point in general about awards, like especially for performance. An award for an artistic endeavor, at the end of the day, it's still opinion. Like we can't like one person's opinion isn't going to say like, oh, you're the best, and because I said you're the best, you are the best. Like someone else may look at it.
Now I'm sorry on that. I'm gonna have to disagree, because if I'm going to sit there and say Denzel Washington was better than Kevin Spacey that year, I got to at least see the film. I'm looking at the performance from the
Absolutely.
His performance in The Hurricane is far better than Kevin Spacey in American Beauty. I'm sorry, that's the reality.
But someone may disagree with you.
Right.
Like, what if Martin Scorsese says, no, that's wrong? Are we gonna
Martin
be better than you?
I didn't disagree with Martin Scorsese. Like, no, buddy. No.
and that's what it is, and that's fine. Like, if y'all
it's fine.
have different opinions.
Hold on one second for our Real Talk listeners. Meaghan's viewpoint of Martin Scorsese is not.
I mean, hey, I love me some Martin Scorsese, and that's the other thing. Like, everyone's specialties in their genres. Like, if you ask Martin, this actually, people have asked him this. They're like, "What do you think of Marvel films?"
Yeah,
He's not. No one's disrespectful.
And that's
we're all comic.
We've had
we're all comic.
Mrs. Marty.
Yeah,
discussion.
You know, we're Marvel and comic film, Marvel comic nerds. We're a little mad at Marty right now.
Because the one thing
But at the same time, I can like, I don't have to agree with him, but I respect him because he's an amazing filmmaker.
I respect him, but Marty, this is what I'm gonna say about Marty. Listen, Marty, when you start making gangster films, right? When the book your films are not gangster, when you start branching, could you go back to comedy for a minute? Can I get a serial thriller when you do something other than
it's not to venture off. It's not even that, and not even to venture off. The only thing I have to say to Marty is this: go to any YouTube video and pull up fan reaction of any, and then you tell me what is that there are no emotions brought forth. There's no seriousness about a Marvel film. I cried.
I know my ass was crying.
I know a lot of people was crying. Myself
crying,
included.
The whole theater, man.
The whole theater was in there crying. The whole theater was
in tears, man. And I mean, I've never seen the reactions of both of those movies, Infinity War and Endgame. Infinity War, when everyone started dusting away. Yeah.
No, it was Vision. It was Vision for me. That killed me.
That was Vision for you? Wow.
See?
No.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what did it for me was Groot.
Yeah.
That was sad.
And you learn what he said?
Spider-Man. Yeah, I learned what he said, right? And it's like, oh my God, my heart.
Yeah. But I don't remember anybody.
Spider-Man.
I don't remember too many people shedding a tear when Joe Pesci died in Goodfellas or Casino. I don't remember that. I'm just saying.
Oh shit.
That was funny. Yeah, they got everybody actually was like, this is what happens.
He got what was coming to him. He got what was coming to him.
He did. Yeah, you know, kill him.
Matter of fact, I was thinking about. Casino was on the other day. I was up here looking at Casino. Right, me and my ex, we used to have this discussion all the time. Which was better, Casino or Goodfellas? She loved Casino. I was like, Casino was not better than Goodfellas. No way. But she loves Casino. I know why, because she likes Las Vegas. But I was sitting up looking at it the other day, and the only part that made me feel sad, it might be because the movies when Sharon Stone died at the end of Casino. That might have really been it. But was I sad when Joe Pesci caught it? Nope.
Oh hell no. Oh, he got it.
Bit.
Now I'm gonna be this.
He got it.
Now I'm gonna be honest. Goodfellas, I was like, oh man, that's messed up. That's pretty much all the emotion I got from that. The Casino, I was like, get his ass. I'm sorry. It's messed up. I was actually sitting there rooting for it. Oh man. It was messed up what they did to his brother. Yeah. His brother didn't have nothing to do with it. But they messed him up.
Wrong. That was just wrong. They did to his brother.
But I thought it was beautiful because wasn't it the same guy who he killed in Goodfellas?
Yep.
Was that the same guy? I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Who got him in Casino?
The main man that got him in Casino. Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I thought that was, that definitely was by design. He was probably like, I'm gonna get your ass this time.
I got you this time.
Yeah. But that's
it. We can talk about Endgame and then we can also talk about these films.
Yeah, that's
telling and what resonates for what audience.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I just think to be honest, really all of that is purely just the OG filmmakers they're bitter. You know what I mean? And because people are spending money on those films, and a lot of people aren't spending the money on the other films. Not like that. And it's just them being bitter. It's just like, yo, dude, just direct a comic film. You can show it. I give you a gangster comic film.
Now the only person
wait,
take on Deadpool.
Right, there's a little comic that was on Milestone Comics. That's the black-owned. That was the black-owned comic from DC. Milestone Comics had a little comic called Blood Syndicate.
Oh yeah,
they were straight gangster. They were straight gangster. They were, it was crazy. The illest comic I seen at that time, in that point in time, that I bought. I bought it because of the cover. The cover looked phenomenal, right? And that's why I bought it. Only reason why I bought it. I read it, was like, oh my God. Like, they was doing crack. They was killing people. Wow. It was just like, what is going on? But they had powers, So it was like, it had a nice storyline behind it, but I'm just like, Blood Syndicate is gangsters, what? So, y'all could get in on the mix. They try to make it. They try to shut it. Like,
might be
that's where we're headed.
But you know what the funny thing about something that Marty said that kind of
resonated. Laying in the Marty today. Go ahead.
I regret his name.
But what's funny is what he's saying is not just limited to film and to film budgets, because the same can be said about actors, about talent. Because nowadays, the reason why most studios go with comic book films or theme or book adapted films is because it's most times it has a built-in audience. So that's automatic seats that are going to be in the theater. It's kind of sort of the same thing with acting nowadays, with all of these influencers and the Instagram entertainers, is what I like to call them, is because a lot of these entertainers or Instagrammers and YouTubers have a built-in audience. So a lot of times you like, well, why did this person get a job? Because they put in the work to get themselves a following. Now, whether they're a good actor or whatever the case may be is a totally different story. But because they have a built-in audience that's going to be brought in to watch whatever particular show that they're on, it's sort of the same thing with that. How now if you don't have a social media presence, the studio was kind of looking at you like, well, who are you? Yeah. And why should we use you?
Yeah, that's so weird. So
if you're not already known,
right, exactly. Getting back to the list here. So King, outstanding performance by a male actor, Will Smith, King Richard. Good job there. So he's now he's out of this. He's got 2, right? Cause he didn't acknowledge the Golden Globes, but he did get it. Of that. Yeah, he did acknowledge, Golden Globes been under fire the last couple of years because they got no minorities, no black people, no minorities, period, on the Hollywood foreign press. So, they've been under scrutiny for the last couple of years. So even though he won, I don't even think he tweeted about it. Like, I don't remember seeing anything. He just kind of, him and a few other actors are just kind of like, well, whatever. But they did win it, so... you got that. Now you win the SAG Award. Next is the Oscars. Let's see what happens. A lot of times, they go through this run where they win them, and not always win all 3, but usually, I don't know. I don't want to say usually, but a lot of times when you get the 2, they end up getting that other one. So we'll see.
But is that because that's something I've always been curious about, and now I think after tonight I'm going to look into it. But that must mean that usually I think that usually happens like that because the voting period for the Oscars still open when the Golden Globes and SAG happens.
I think I want to
That's
say
a
like
good
I
question.
think so.
Think so. Yeah, I have to look into that. I got to look into that. I got to try to find. I know a couple of people that's in the Academy. I'm gonna ask them. That's all I can say.
Because
that's a good question.
That would make perfect sense as to why that you know the awards end up going to that you can kind of sort of predict what's going to happen if that voting period is still open during the other award shows, because that automatically means people are like, oh well, okay, they said it's good, I'm not going to bother watching it, it must be good, and let's just give it to this person.
They're influenced.
Yeah.
That's possible. That's a good question. I'll have to look more into that. So outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role. This was Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which she was very surprised that she beat out Lady Gaga and the other people. Mostly Lady Gaga and probably Nicole Kidman. Yeah, but I mean Jennifer Hudson did well too in respect. So, but I have to say, I looked this up. I didn't see the film, but I looked it up afterwards. And I tell you one thing, I know who should get an award: the damn makeup artists, the makeup people that transformed her into Tammy Faye, because that's what they did.
Yeah.
I couldn't even recognize it was Jessica Chastain. I was like, whoa, that was awesome.
And I think the other reason why Jessica Chastain probably won is because her face is plastered all over stuff for the last 2 years. As far as action is concerned, she had Ava, then you got in the 355.
355, right? Remember that? Yeah.
So
I don't know about that one. I just think she
did do a good job though. She nailed that accent too.
I still think that the front runner is still Kristen Stewart for Diana.
Listen,
I don't think so. I don't think so, dude.
Hollywood
front runner. I think the front runners are pretty. I didn't mean to cut you off, Kev. Go ahead. You
No. You go ahead, because Hollywood doesn't like her, and she's just not going to. For whatever reason, as good of an actress as she is, she's just not going to get her just due ever. She's always a good actress.
That's that. You're probably right about that.
I wonder why that would be.
I don't know. Especially with like what we mentioned earlier about the Oscars being political and stuff like that. So it's very possible. But I do also say that I think that's one reason why she hasn't been included in a lot of stuff, because she wasn't even included in this category. So the actors, her peers didn't even include her in the leading female role, right? So, but I think the front runners are still the same people who were the front runners for the first two, which would be, well, now Jessica Chastain is in the mix because of this win, but Lady Gaga with House of Gucci, Nicole Kidman would be in the Ricardos. I still think they're front runners, definitely. Going into the next thing, and now Jessica Chastain is now probably thrown in that pot as well. So I didn't realize. I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I did not see the film. I did not realize how, like, what's the word? I mean, she just looked a lot like
transformation.
Yeah, the transformation that they gave her, and I mean, it was, and not just what she looked like. She had that accent. She nailed that accent, and the Southern accent or whatever. And it looked really interesting. I'm gonna now check it out, and see what it is. But I guess they felt that she really brought it out. Wow, it was something else though. I mean, I've seen like the only person that I've seen like that in the last couple of years is when Charlize Theron transformed into Meaghan. What's her name?
Oh, for Monster.
Megan Kelly?
Yeah,
For Monster?
Megyn Kelly.
Yeah,
no,
and
Megan.
Monster.
For Megyn Kelly.
Well, Monster too. I'm talking about for Megyn Kelly. That's what I said. Like recently, yeah. She really like.
Recently, yeah.
Oh my God! Like she looks so much like her. I read somewhere that she looks so much like her that I think Megan Kelly's like
Her
son. Yeah, Megan Kelly's son was double taking. Like what? Like looking at the poster. Yeah, like the poster for what was that show called? It was called a Bombshell. Yeah. And yeah, she really they really I mean, they used prosthetics and everything because you know Megan Kelly has got like that. She's got more of a squared off jaw, whereas Charlize Theron's face is more round. You know what I mean? So they even used like prosthetics to square her jaw off more, and I mean she became her. It was crazy. She deepened her voice. Like she didn't get it quite as deep as Megan's, but she really got close. And I think what I was talking about with Nicole Kidman, I think when you get a voice of a person down, that's even better than you looking exactly like the person. Like when you get that voice that people know, that's what Jessica Chastain ended up doing with this Eyes of Tammy Faye. Plus, she did look like her, but like Nicole Kidman didn't look exactly like Lucy. She had moments where she did look a lot like Lucille Ball. Then there was moments where she just didn't. But what the consistency was the voice, the classic voice. Yeah.
And when you have the voice, when you have the vocal enunciations and all of that stuff down, it makes the illusion that much more believable. You're able to spin with who you're actually looking at, and you end up pulling the face over. It's just like with Denzel. It's just like with Denzel and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Like in those first, the jail scene, even when he first put on his first suit, he really didn't look like Malcolm. It wasn't until he started talking and until he started making the speeches and started, really started delving into his dialogue that you started seeing that, at least for me anyway, is when I started being visually sucked into the illusion.
That's always I agree with you 100%. That's always the killer. You know what I mean? That's the one. That's what brings it home. I don't know. What do you think, Megan? From an actor's perspective, if you're playing someone.
Yeah, I think I would definitely. Right, I definitely agree because I think that there's, I guess I would call it like the psychology of a character.
Yeah, psychology of a character.
We can look at a picture of someone and think of what they might be like, but until they open their mouth and speak to it, effective, more or less like than we thought they were.
Yeah,
building entire psychology of a character.
Yeah.
And what Megan is saying is very important, and particularly in the case of Malcolm X, whereas for a lot of us, our interactions with Malcolm was through tapes. At least I know for me, growing up in the 70s and the 80s, particularly growing up in the 80s and particularly 90s, like a lot of the stuff that was
on last.
Yeah.
Not Turner Classic, but Turner Classics. They were running Malcolm X all weekend. I sat there and was watching. I was like, wow, I forgot this. And I'm gonna have to ask this question to you guys later. What director had the best 4-picture time period? Right, with it, like, because I was like, that period with Spike Lee. I mean, you go from Do the Right Thing to Mo Better Blues to Jungle Fever to Malcolm X. Damn.
Yeah, that was tough. That was a big one.
The only guy I can think about, and we're saying just 4 pictures, like a 4-picture block where you said
maybe QT.
Who?
Tarantino, maybe. He went from Reservoir to Pulp. Jackie Brown, I think, was in there.
Yeah. And then to Kill Bill.
No, before that was Inglourious Bastards.
Oh yeah.
No, Kill Bill is first. Kill Bill is first, and then,
Oh, Kill Bill then? Okay, then Kill Bill.
I was thinking David
I think the first Kill Bill was first.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking David Fincher. I would put into that like, but I need to see his block of films. But I probably would think Social Network, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and He did 2 other movies in there. Oh, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And it was one more, but that like that 4 block. And I'm just like that 4 block because I was thinking Spielberg. And I was like, Jaws, Close Encounters, but then you got 1941. You know, and then you back it up Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like you got that bomb in there. But that 4 block of Spike Lee's just from Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah,
that's a lot of quality in it. Like four bangers. 4 straight.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, Fincher, he had some stuff spread out, but I mean, I guess you have to think about it like you're talking like consecutively, right? Like,
right, consecutively.
Because you think about, Fincher had a few not so, whatever. But remember, Fincher also did so many music videos. He didn't even do a lot of films.
Right.
So if you count his films, you say from 7 in 1995, right? You got
The
7,
Fight Club.
And then the next one was Fight Club, and then the next one was Panic Room.
Yeah.
Right.
The Game. I love The Game. The Game. The Game was if y'all never seen The Game, go find that one. The Game
was good.
Man.
And then he from Panic Room, his next film was Zodiac, and then The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yep.
That's what he had.
And that's a
from
jump.
Yeah, that's a big jump. Yeah. Case of Benjamin Button. Then he goes to Social Network, Dragon Tattoo. Right. Yeah, so that's pretty much.
I mean,
and then
I'm
Gone
here,
Girl. And
yeah,
then
I'm
Gone
sitting
Girl.
here right now. I'm looking at David Fincher. He goes from we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He had a
7,
good
8,
run.
9. He's got a run of 9 bangers.
Yeah,
And then you got the cult classic. Some people think it's cult classic, Alien 3, right? But from Alien 3 to Gone Girl, like damn,
he had a nice run. I have to add that he's definitely he had a nice run. Like I said, I think Quentin had a nice run too. Quentin had a nice run because Quentin didn't have any. He didn't have any duds in between all of the ones we were just talking about.
Nah, he doesn't. Although personally, I think that he doesn't get the credit that he rightfully deserved for Death Proof. I love that movie. That movie was awesome.
Proof was good. Yeah, Death Proof was way better than Rodriguez's one.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah,
way better.
Death Proof, I was satisfied with just that. I didn't even need to see the Rodriguez one.
Yeah.
But Death Proof was the one. But that's a good question. But
I gotta do a little research into that one because like who's got like the best block of movies? I mean, right now David Fincher, that's 9 straight. That's
gonna be tough to beat.
That's tough to beat.
9 straight like bangers. That's tough to beat.
And
and really, if you want to say, if any of those was considered a weak link, would be Zodiac, and that wasn't a weak link. But I'm just saying, out of all of them, it would be Zodiac that would be considered the weak link, right?
Zodiac is a damn good movie. Long, but it's a damn good movie.
It's long as hell, but it's good though. So that's good. And plus, when you think about, anything that resonates with real life stuff, like when you had the Zodiac killer, that just resonates with Zodiac. I mean, just whatever. Just the Zodiac. I'm just saying, even if it's not directly about it, it's just like, well, it's cool. But anywho, let me run down the rest of these guys real quick. So the outstanding performer, the male actor in a supporting role was Troy Kotsur from Coda. That's the deaf actor. And outstanding performer by a female actor in a supporting role was Ariana DuBois, who from the West Side Story. Well, that's cool. That was dope.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
That's our Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
What's this chick?
Yeah, right. Outstanding performer of ensemble from a drama series with Succession. Outstanding male performer actor in a drama series. That's the Squid Game. Lee Hung Jae. Squid Game. That was cool. I liked watching them get their awards, man. That was cool. He was surprised as hell. He was like, "What?" That was hilarious. When he won, he was looking like, "What?"
The last couple of years have been big for Korean cinema is very, very good, particularly their action and their horror, especially their horror. Their zombies are off the chain. I love Korean zombie movies. Like
Korean zombie movies.
Listen, you know,
it's always social commentary too. Their zombie movies are always like some socioeconomic commentary.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, that's too funny. Yeah. So then the other Squid Game young girl one. She's young too. That girl. I don't know her age, but she's pretty young. Ted Lasso won a couple times last night.
That thing is always winning though. Ted Lasso. I ain't never seen it.
I've never seen it either. Apparently it's funny.
It's always winning something.
Series. It's always winning, and it beat out the Only Murders in the Building. Only Murders in the Building. That's freaking Martin Short and Steve Martin. Like,
I need to see that. I haven't seen that yet.
I know. I heard it's really good. I heard that's really good.
Steve Martin and Martin Short. I mean,
Selena Gomez.
I'm in. So, what are we waiting for, right? Yeah, so Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis won, and also I think the female actor from there won as well. Outstanding performance in a television movie or limited series, Michael Keaton for Dope Sick. I love Michael Keaton. I love hearing Michael Keaton talk because he's such a, I don't know, when he talks, you're sitting there like, yeah, he's so relaxed the way he talks, and just like, yeah, you know, I don't know, think about Beetlejuice when he talks. I'm just like, yeah, I love this guy.
They were running a lot of stuff this weekend. One of my favorite Michael Keaton movies that is The Other Guys, where he's the captain that keeps quoting TLC. I don't know why, but I just love that movie.
Yeah,
it's just funny. But he's funny as the captain. He's a great TLC movies.
He's such a great actor. Now this, I don't think they, unless I just missed it, I didn't see them broadcast Stunt Ensemble. I saw it now. Best Stunt Ensemble was No Time to Die. Right. But I didn't see that. Maybe I might have been bathroom break or something. I don't know. I missed it. And then outstanding performance by a stunt ensemble in a comedy drama series, Squid Game, makes series. Comedy or drama series, Squid Games, makes sense. That's pretty much that. But yeah, I mean, I think that let's just before we wrap up or anything, let's just get some predictions. Anybody have any predictions for the Oscars? Do you see anybody that kind of stands out to you that you think might win the Oscar? I definitely say Will Smith is a heavy favorite.
Yeah,
going into it.
Yep.
Yeah, he went into it. And then because did they release the nominees yet or no for the Oscars? They did, right?
Yeah, they did.
Before
Will Smith, I think this might be his year to get it.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I think he's a heavy favorite in my opinion. For best actor, yeah. Well, now
then
the
there's
Oscars
also Denzel.
Yeah, the Oscars love musicals. You know that they love them.
Oh no, like Tick Tick Boom.
Tick Bad. Yeah, Tick Tick Boom or Tick Tick Bad, whatever. This is what I'm saying. Andrew Garfield. They love. All I can say is the Oscars love musicals. So
they do. They also love when people portray real people.
Yeah, exactly.
They that's do. That both Will Smith and Andrew Garfield are portraying.
Right. Exactly. So Will Smith is portrayed. I think I think Denzel is he's Denzel, but I just think they're gonna I don't think Denzel's gonna get it. For this.
No,
there's a tragedy of Macbeth.
No.
I mean, how many times have we seen Macbeth on stage or on camera? So, I believe now you got Benedict Cumberbatch, who a lot of people thought was a big front runner for that Power of the Dog, right? That's the film. Yeah, I mean Javier Bardem, he did well, he did good, but I still think it's Will Smith, and my dark horse is Andrew Garfield because the Oscars love musicals. So
I'm with you with the Will Smith. I might say Andrew Garfield as our host. It's not because of the musical. It's because he was in Spider-Man, and he's still riding that wave from Spider-Man. Maybe somebody can him and say, you know what?
He's amazing in Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was amazing in Spider-Man. I'm dead. Yo, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
But here's the thing: why you should take what Ralph is saying a little bit more seriously is because if Andrew Garfield, let's just say Andrew Garfield just happens to win this, that's gonna lock and step his getting another Spider-Man movie over at Sony.
Definitely.
Definitely. I mean that may be true. I ain't gonna take away from his performance, because remember he was getting a lot of press and stuff like that for this film.
Oh no.
I even knew he was in Spider-Man.
I'm not anyway knocking his press or even his performance. I'm just stating a fact that if this is.
I mean, of course, yeah. This a win for him is definitely That's a lock for that's a damn near guarantee that as long as he wants to come back, they'll do another film with him. What do you think?
Yeah, but it'll be at Sony, and that'll be the separation of Sony Spider-Man versus MCU Spider-Man. And for that fact,
interesting.
I want Will Smith to win, but hopefully we can get Andrew Garfield that Oscar, so that way Sony can go on and do their little stuff, do whatever they need to do over there, and play around with their Spider-Man and leave the MCU alone.
Well, I mean, they're definitely. I think that was definitely their plan, anyway. To kind of bring that, because they got their own little thing. Did anyone see that Morbius trailer? By the way, it looks ridiculously good.
Yes.
No, I didn't see it yet.
Oh man,
Grace is pissing me off again.
Oh,
who wants this? Nobody wants this Morbius movie.
Yeah, she's crazy. Grace is wild.
I love to hate her sometimes.
Yeah, Grace. What's her name? Grace Rudolph from Beyond the Trailer.
Say that really nobody probably wanted Guardians of the Galaxy until you saw it. You was like, yo, I was sleeping on this project. I never knew about this. So let's just
what they're doing is they're sticking Sony's sticking with their original little thing that they wanted to do with some of the villains, the Spider-Man villains. They did it with Venom.
They're only doing
we like anti-heroes, doing like anti-heroes.
Doing what only they can do, because they don't really. I mean, they have the rights to Spider-Man, but they can't really get it right. So since we got 1,500 other villains that we can work with, or characters, I should say, we could work with. Why don't we just do movies about those? Which still doesn't make sense because it's still minus Spider-Man, but whatever.
Well, I mean, but the the No Way Home kind of helps set them up to bring it back. Yeah, to bring it back and now once they bring Spider-Man back, they can bring all these villains that they've been setting up and put them in the Spider-Man. And they've already indicated that they're all in the same world now, same universe. So they indicated that even in Morbius, in the trailer.
Yeah.
Do we think that Disney is going to end up fighting them?
I think Disney
character becomes then like the MCU. Oh no, we want them.
Yeah, right. I think that's a good question or a good comment. I think that Disney is probably going to be like, hey, y'all go ahead and do what y'all got to do. I think this whole joint venture was to say, look, all we really care about is that we're able to do Spider-Man and bring Spider-Man in where we needed him. They had it. They did this joint venture with them, and now this whole thing sets up for Sony, like what Kev said, for Sony can go and do what they want to do with their Spider-Man, and everyone now will accept it more because of No Way Home. You know, it's more acceptable now because it's like, oh, okay, cool. You know, we saw him, and so it just that it had to happen. What happened with No Way Home had to happen for Sony to even have a chance to do another Spider-Man film, because you know the last one they did left a bad taste in people's mouth. You know, with the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that but they righted that wrong. Well, the MCU did, but still. It's still Sony's character. Sony has claim to those characters too. It's Marvel's characters, but Sony has claim to them. So yeah, that wrong was righted, and so we definitely will see those characters in the Sony verse, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, they straight up they laying claim on it though. From the studio that brought you No Way Home. They put that right there. Because technically they are the studio. Technically, they are the studio that brought you Spider-Man No Way Home.
And I'm still not sure I agree with what Kevin said that Sony can't get Spider-Man right. I'm sorry, man.
They might be able to now.
I'm saying I'm still looking at Spider-Man 1 and 2, the original ones. Those are Sony projects. They're pretty damn good.
No, those were good. They were good, but you know how fans are. What have you done for me lately?
I was looking at Spider-Man 2 the other day. I was like, yo, this is a damn good.
It's still one of the best ones. It's still in my top 5. It's in my top 5 and maybe top 4. Spider-Man 2 is definitely one of the best Spider-Man movies that's ever been made. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes. So anyhow, we're coming to the end of the time. See how fast it goes. See how fast it goes, Meaghan. When we talking about what we love, film. Real quick before we let you go, you got anything you working on, Meaghan? What you want to talk about?
I just was actually in something. I guess I'll just mention it because we were just talking about Malcolm X, and I was just in a reading of James Baldwin's screen, and we did a reading of that, and it's.
I'm gonna have you repeat that, Meaghan, because you're breaking up a little bit with your mic's breaking up a little bit, so let's repeat that, and so we can get all of it.
Okay. This weekend, it's funny you mentioned that Spike Lee's Malcolm X was on TV because a good friend of mine, Jose Escaya, of James Baldwin's screen of Malcolm X's life, which is called One Day Was Lost.
It's a screening of Malcolm X's life, you said?
It's called One Day of Loss.
One Day of Loss? Oh, wow. And you were, and how were you involved in that?
Actors, and we performed, which was recorded and will be put into the James Baldwin archives.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Wow. That's really dope. Awesome. Really dope. Yes.
It was really an experience. And
wow.
We performed it in the Shabazz Center. So we actually performed it in what used to be the Audubon Ball, where Malcolm X was assassinated.
Wow.
So
that's powerful.
It was a historic experience.
Wow. I mean, we definitely would like to maybe get you back and talk about that a little bit. Maybe if you have anything from that. That's awesome, man. I should have asked you that question earlier. Look on me. That's awesome though. Well, congratulations on being a part of something like that. Must feel really good. Yeah, that must feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine how you Yeah, I can imagine how you feel about that. That's great. I mean, let's get another round of applause for that. A bigger one. Yeah. But definitely, shout out your social media and stuff. People want to book you. You know what I mean? They want to put you on, get you. I'll definitely. I'm gonna be a commercial for you right now. This young lady is a phenomenal actor. I had the pleasure to work with her and direct her. She takes direction well, and she really knows how to bring out what's in the character. So yeah, that's my little pitch for you. You go
And she
ahead
can
and
put you in your throat if
Thank
necessary.
you.
yeah, she can whoop your ass if necessary. So
Also true.
Hey,
So
like you saying,
shout
y'all
out
keep
to
saying that.
social media.
Y'all keep saying that like that's a bad thing.
Oh no, it's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing. That's a very good thing.
Very, very good thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna put your social media also in the chat room, but shout it out.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Because, of course, my name is Meaghan. It's spelled in a very peculiar way. Thank you, Mom and Dad. You can find me on Instagram, Meaghan Bloom.
Yeah.
Spelled M-E-A.
Meaghan Bloom.
H-A-N. All the letters.
Yeah, I'm about to put it in the chat room right now. And all of them, all your social media is that, right? That's how it is.
Pretty much. Yeah, you can find me if you put in Meaghan Bloom.
dream.
My website's meaghanbloomfluid.com.
meaghanbloomfluid.com. Yeah. Putting that in the chat room as well. That's what's up, man. Well, we
and
definitely.
one more thing.
Go ahead.
If anyone, since we're all into comic books and geekery and whatnot, anybody is into Warhammer, and now that we're going into deep geek end, with some Warhammer 40K, they are doing an animated series, which I also have a small voice part in, along with Clancy Brown. It's a fun little series.
Clancy
You can check it
Brown's
out.
in it. Clancy Brown's in it too. Yeah, I love him, man. That's my dude. That's the Cargill. That's the Cargill from Highlander. That's my dude.
Yeah.
Love him. He's got a great voice, so I know.
Real.
So, yeah, I did see that.
Daredevil. I was like, wow, you got Clancy Brown up in this piece.
Yeah, that's my dude, man. I think I saw some pictures of you. You were doing like you was doing the voiceovers, right? Like you was doing the voice acting.
Yeah.
That's what it was for.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that you have up there. Oh man, that's cool.
Some of it was probably for that, but yeah, it's on there. They have like their own proprietary streaming channel.
Oh man. Yeah, definitely send me info on that too. I'll put it out there as well. That should be that's pretty cool, man. And is that available? Like people can watch it now, or
the first, and their it's a new venture of their animated series, and it's featuring the Tal gets some love.
Oh, yeah, that would you broke up. I'm gonna have you repeat that last part one more time. Sorry about that, Meaghan, but it broke up again.
Oh no! My internet hates me.
Is this storming? Is this storming where you're at?
It's not really. I think it might be this old building.
Oh Lord. Yeah, it was breaking up, but you said that it is available though, the first part of it, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, that's what's up, man. Definitely come back and hang out with us, man. It was a pleasure having you. And it should be, like I said, it goes fast, man. Even though you were here, you came here at 10, but even before that, everything else that we talk about, it goes so fast. It's really about it. So definitely come back and see us, and then hopefully your mic will be a little better. It's like, I don't know if it sounds like a short in the mic, but I don't know if it's the internet.
Yeah,
it sounds like it might be a short in the mic.
Because there's like a 5 to 8 second delay between when I hear you and when I talk.
True. True. Yeah, that happens too. It could be a whole internet thing. It's all good. We were able to make out what you were saying. So we enjoyed having you. We appreciate you. And we'll, please
Thank
come
you so
back
much.
anytime. Anytime. We love for you to come back.
Absolutely. Thank
All
you so
right.
much
Have a good night.
for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank
Have
you
a
for
good
coming
night.
on. Appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, she had, I know her mic was kind of messed up, but yeah, we made out mostly everything she said. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters.
You know
But
what?
yeah, man.
When you said Meaghan, I didn't even realize it until like we were halfway in. Like, oh, Tip, it's Meaghan.
Yeah. It's Meaghan. Yep. So yeah, she did a thing, man. That's what's up. But yeah, so I guess see how fast it goes, bro. I guess we're gonna have to wrap up the black card stuff next week because it's just maybe we just need to spend more time on it. But I got the pictures you sent, Rob. We should post these on the
I got to post the last three decades on our page. I posted to 2000.
You posted.
I posted to the 90s, but I got to post 2010 and 20.
Okay.
But it was a lot of. I just want to say there was a lot of work that went into that, putting that list together, and I still not 1,000% happy with it. I think there's some things I might have missed in there, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll leave it to you guys to tell me. Hey, what about this movie? What about this movie?
Well, I mean, this from the list itself, the list is pretty thorough. I mean, there's I haven't came across, at least I haven't found out yet, any movie that I'm saying, hey, what about this movie? Because the list is pretty thorough. There's a couple movies on the list that I'm like, that I may remove, but just
that's fine. I'm better at some. I'd be better at someone telling me, I don't know if this one need to really be up in here, but I'm working about it's something that should have been there that I just forgot about. Because I almost did that with, let's say, like I forgot to put Poetic Justice on there. I was like, wait a minute, what about Poetic Justice? Like,
you forgot to put Poetic Justice.
Originally, I didn't have Poetic Justice on that list, and I thought about it, I said, wait a minute now.
Right.
You gotta put Poetic Justice up there. So
I remember, this is in the 80s. Now from the 80s, I think you're on point here. I don't really see anything that I would take out from here.
Now I'm thinking about it. I never saw Poetic Justice.
What?
Oh, no, yeah. You're not there. Someone else said that recently too. They was like, I never seen Poetic Justice. I was like, okay. The 80s, it looked like I was.
When I realized I didn't watch it, when I was watching the fat comedy documentary on what it's on, I think it's on Amazon about about Fat Tuesdays in Los Angeles, about the comedy club and that whole thing with Guy Torry and I realized that Guy Torry was actually in Poetic Justice. Like
that was actually Joe Torry, his brother.
Torry.
Was it Joe Torry? I thought it was Guy Torry.
Yeah, they almost look alike. Guy Torry was in like no.
Guy Torry was in American History X. Yeah, that was Guy Torry.
But they said on that comedy thing that Guy Torry was in Poetic Justice.
Yeah, they were wrong. Unless he had a minor character, but Joe Torry was the guy who played, his brother. He's the guy who played, that character, Tupac's homeboy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was him. That was Joe Torry. Yeah. Because
in fact, Guy Torry is in Pearl Harbor. I know he's in Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
I remember him. The only movie I remember Guy Torry from is American History X.
Well, Guy did a bunch of movies, including Pearl Harbor.
That's the only thing I really remember him was Pearl Harbor, because he was the guy that actually saw the shell coming. He was like, "Oh shit!" and you see the whole shit blow up, the Arizona blow up.
Yeah, I liked him in American History X because he was the character that basically helped turn that guy around. You know what I mean? He didn't. The guy who really helped him is the teacher guy, but you know, he basically saved his life, because that's what he said to him when he got out. He's like, you know, I get this feeling that, you know, I've been, you know, he said something like, you know, it's weird that I'm not dead right now or something like that. And he's like, I have a feeling that you're a reason why, you know what I mean? Because he was the black guy. The black dudes was ready to kill that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I have a funny feeling that you're the reason why I'm still breathing. And he's like, you know, he tried to play it off like, oh man, what are you talking about? You know, but yeah, he's like, I owe you one. So yeah, that was God Torre. But him and Joe Torre, they do look alike. But Joe Torre was in Poetic Justice. But yeah, so the 80s, I don't see anything that I would take off there. They all look, you know, all qualify. They all qualify as that. In the 90s, wait, did I just X out of it? The 90s, it's 2000s. Let me see. The 90s, right here, you can see.
Well,
I didn't really
see that list because I didn't see it.
Yeah. It's in the.
I'll put it in our chat room too.
Yeah. It's originally in our messenger. Yeah, this as well. I don't see anything in here that I would take out. Sorry, nothing. Yeah, this is all on point. Maybe Jerry Maguire. I don't know. I understand why you put it in there, because it falls under those films. It falls under those films that wasn't made for the culture, but it was adapted by the culture later. Mostly from the Show Me the Money, you know, from Cuba Gooding Jr., you know, character. But if anything, if I was to take anything out, it would be that. It would be Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, I thought long and hard about Jerry Maguire, and it wasn't until you said that part about something that wasn't made for us, but we just embraced it. That's specifically Cuba Gooding Jr. You know, Show Me the Money.
Specifically that. I mean, like we said, that category alone falls with you know, like Goodfellas. We talked about it, like Goodfellas, Casino, like those type of films were adapted by the black culture mostly because of hip hop. You know, Scarface is the perfect example of that. There's not one black person in Scarface. So, you know, there's not a one. But that's still one of those films that.
Oh, there's an Afro-Latina in there. His sister.
Okay, Mary Master San Antonio. You talking about her?
All right,
yeah, but okay, but there's no black people in there.
Which always made me wonder, like, okay, so because the mom is pretty dark, sister's pretty dark. That made sense.
Well, she was Cuban. The mom was Cuban, though.
Yeah, but see, that's what made me wonder, like, what is dad? Was dad Cuban, or was he?
Who knows?
I would probably say, that was Cuban.
Probably was, because they came from Cuba, so.
No, he's probably Cuban.
He's probably Cuban. But but that's one of those films. That's the perfect example of one of those films that was just made, you know, was not made to even appeal to the black culture or black experience or anything like that. It was adopted.
I hope you have from the 70s. There better be at least 3 Shaw Brother films on there.
That's interesting.
I didn't put any Shaw Brothers because those are really martial art films. Even though the black
Ralph, but
black culture definitely. I see his case. I do get your case with that, because there are some of the Shaw Brother movies that black culture take it from. But then I'm looking at other factors, like what would I take off to put the Shaw Brother movies on? Right. That's a harder case. See, it's not like. So in the 70s here, you have, there's a lot in here that.
Like the 3 that I know that should be on there. One is not a Shaw Brothers film, but Enter the Dragon should be on there. 5 Deadly Venom should be on there.
Yeah, definitely the 5 Deadly Venom. That shit, everybody in the hood watch that film.
Watch that one.
5 Deadly Venoms, I can definitely see that. I was just watching that the other day, man. I love that film. But that used to come on back in the day, man, and everybody literally. And you all know, we all know, we lived it, we experienced it, right?
That Saturday,
Thank God for Channel 5. Thank God for Channel 5.
Thank God for Channel 5.
Driving theater.
Yeah, and we, man, oh man, because I was, boy. I even tried to make my own mask. I tried to make my own masks like the 5 Deadly Films out there acting like we playing karate against each other, kung fu against each other.
And the cold, because that day that came out, it was cold outside.
Yeah.
That day it came out.
But that's okay because it repeated like it had to be played like at least maybe every 5 weeks. 5 Deadly Films was on because they just kept recycling those movies over and over. I was like, yo, this shit was tight. But I got another question now that
Joseph said no Zulu.
No, I did not put Zulu on that list. How can I say this? I did not think that Zulu was, I don't want to say worthy, but then again, I feel like I do want to say worthy. Right. I don't think it was really worthy of being put in lists because I don't really see how it really speaks to the Black culture. Yes, it was 4,000 Zulu warriors, right? Yeah. But it's maybe if it was the other way around, where the Zulu warriors marched into Britain and was trying to, I don't know. I just thought about it. And I was like, I couldn't justify it in my head. I just couldn't justify it in my head to stick that on there.
I could definitely justify it because it speaks to one, just the cult. Even if you just bend it back towards hip hop, I mean Zulu Nation. I mean it totally. Aside from that, that whole thing totally tied into the Pan-African movement of the 70s of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, 60s and 70s.
All right, that might be a strong case. It might be strong. Something, an aspect that I did not think about.
Yeah. Well, that was a good pointed out by Joseph. Very cool. Very good, Joseph. We made an argument here. Well, made a strong case here. So yeah, but I'm skimming through them, man. A lot of these films, so funny, man. That's like, yeah, a lot of these films you did a good job on them, though. You know, there's a lot in here that I'm seeing, and I'm like, yeah. Yeah. See another one, I'm like, yeah.
And at least one Chuck Norris and one Sho Suzuki movie got to be in there too.
Well, I think maybe Sho Suzuki, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know about Chuck Norris.
I think definitely more the Shaw Brothers films than any of them. You know what I mean? 5 Deadly Venoms to me, I think
Into
is
the
definite.
Dragon. I might say, yeah.
I don't
really
maybe
see Chuck
even
Norris.
The Death, maybe even the Game of Death. It had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, legendary fight with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bruce Lee.
Yellow tracksuit.
You
relate that to The Last Dragon with the yellow tracksuit.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Game of Death definitely in it. Yeah, because that one, once again, that was another one that everybody talked about in the hood. The Game of Death. It's always like, oh man.
Chuck Norris is because of because of his because of his martial arts background, but also because of Good Guys Wear Black.
Good Guys Wear Black.
You know what? The only thing I remember from Good Guys Wear Black is literally him jumping through the car windshield. That's the only thing I remember from the entire movie.
He had some dope stuff in that, yeah.
I mean, if I was going to pick a Chuck Norris movie, I mean, my favorite Chuck Norris movie really is Lone Wolf McQuade. I think that's his.
Yeah, it's true. Lone Wolf McQuade and the other one with the with the Michael Myers type dude. What was that?
Hero in the
That
Tower.
was silent.
Yeah.
No,
Silent
Rage.
Yeah.
That was my favorite Chuck Norris movie.
Yeah,
That was my favorite Chuck Norris movie.
Yeah.
Because that movie, that dude was, like you said, he was like Michael Myers. That dude was
he
scary.
kept coming. Kept
Yeah.
coming.
And he never died.
Nope.
He kicked him down into the well, and the guy pops up still. So he was just stuck in the well.
Then you get Hero in the Terror, which was it wasn't a sequel, but that's what it should have been. It should have been the sequel to Silent Rage, but it just wasn't. They came up with something different. But my favorite Chuck Norris is far and away Lone Wolf McQuade. I have loved that movie since the first day I saw it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I agree. So that's cool. I noticed you have Dolomite's my name on here, which is dope. Did you have Dolomite on there in the back?
The original 70s? Dolomite is on there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you gotta have that in there.
Mr. Joint.
Way down in the jungle deep. Anyway, that dude is the man, yo. He's a trailblazer, man. That dude. I'm glad Eddie Murphy really shined light on him.
Yo, so shine light on him because that
was really that dude was that dude was what you call it, man. He's a trailblazer. That dude was the original. Go out there and do it yourself. But
and that's one of the reasons why I say that, like, at least those three films that I mentioned, those 2 films that I mentioned, Five Deadly Venoms, Enter the Dragon, and then you guys mentioned The Game of Death. Like,
yeah, I definitely think, for me,
that's why Kung Fu was a big part of the culture. Like Dolomite.
Yeah. Dolomite was also, they was doing their little Kung Fu.
Yeah. That was why, because Kung Fu had became introduced into it became such a big part of Black culture. And that's why Dolomite was doing what he was doing, because he understood what our culture was.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Kev. That's a great point.
That is a good point. I did not think about that, but I'm willing to concede. Like I said, I much rather people tell me, "Yo, there's something that you forgot. There's something that you're gonna say, nah, this shouldn't be on there at all."
Yeah. No. I think those are great points to have, because martial arts, especially martial arts from back then, was a very heavy in our culture. We adapt. It's one of those things we adopted, and which is probably why The Last Dragon did well with us.
That's exactly why it did well with us, because it resonated.
It resonated. Everybody, when you watch The Last Dragon, you think about it. You're like, man, yeah, shoot, I'm a Bruce Lee fan too.
I only have to say tomorrow. I only have to say one song. Everybody was kung fu fighting.
I know everybody. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Yeah. I agree. All right, well, let's wrap it up next week.
All right. Well, actually, now that this is done, I need to work on another list, and I'm gonna need your guys' help.
Okay.
Right? As you guys know, because he said so on the show a couple of weeks ago, that I'm in this movie talk room on Facebook, and certainly shout out to all those guys.
Yeah.
But there's this one guy that keeps posting these Mount Rushmore movies, right? But he's always forgetting some of the stuff. And then like today he posted Ron Howard, the director of Ron Howard. Posted one. But no Mr. Mom, no Splash, no Cocoon, no Gung Ho, right? No Night Moves, right?
Yeah.
He just posted the most recent stuff, and then his thing is like, I didn't see it. That's what he keeps saying. I didn't see it. So it had me thinking, if you're a real movie fan, is there an actual requirement of films that you should have seen, no matter how old you are, no matter how old the movie is, that in order if you say I am a movie fan, that these are like the basic films that you should have saw at least one time in your life? So it had me thinking. I was like I would say The Wizard of Oz, I'm gonna do this. I think The Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
The first, it could be either or, but I'm gonna say the first Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Star Wars, Rocky, and then that's where I get off track. Like, what else really came out that's like a basic requirement that you should, if you're a real movie fan, that you should have, you just should have seen. Because like, if you like, all right, like right now you have one here, the '90s, the Black Card. But out of all these films that are basic, that are down here for our Black Card, is there anyone that is like, maybe Malcolm X is a film? But see, now I got to also look at the white side of film. Like, should you, as a white person, if you're a film fan, have seen Malcolm X the same way as Black people that are film fans have seen Malcolm X? It's got to be something that both your side and the white side, Black side, Spanish side, Chinese side, everybody say, this is one of the ones that you just need, that not that you should own, I should have saw. Like now, I might say that out of all the Marvel movies, the one that you should have seen, maybe just Iron Man, because that's the start, right? So if you skip other pieces of the whole universe, Iron Man is the one you definitely should have seen.
Okay, that's fair. Just say, yeah.
So I was just thinking today, is there a certain list of movies that are just requirements that you should have seen? No, if you're saying I am a film fan, I can only really think of 5, and the 5 I just said.
You said right. You said Rocky.
Maybe. I said The Wizard of Oz, The Godfather, Rocky, Star Wars, and I said one more too. Maybe it was 4.
Also, it's also an age thing now.
But that's now. But what I'm saying is, like, most people that are movie fans, because we're older, we're not 20, 30, we're at 40, 50, 60s. We're in that time frame. But when I see people talking about films, they're only always looking at the more recent stuff and kind of like glance over the older thing. Like, I would probably say, I said 4, probably Psycho. I would probably include Psycho as something that you should have seen.
Yeah, that was like films that help change and shape genres.
Right.
Psycho's one of them.
Maybe 2001, and maybe 2001 over Star Wars, which I can't believe I'm even saying. But I can't believe I'm saying that. But
yeah, 2001 is a reach.
But if someone said,
even for people our age, it's a reach.
Yeah, right. Well,
yes, because you got spaceships swimming around that no sound, no nothing. But
you don't think Star Trek would be in there that list?
No.
Maybe
Star Trek 2. Yes.
No, the first Star Trek, most definitely. The first 2, most definitely.
Not the first one. The first one sucks.
Yes, the first. No, it doesn't matter whether it sucked or not. The bottom, it's still like my mother was a Trekkie. Like we went to go see. I had no intentions of wanting to see the first Star Wars. I mean, the first. The reason why I went to go see the first Star Trek, which I was pleasantly, that's when the RKO theaters were still around. And we went to the RKO theater in Rockville, and there were only 2 in this area. There was the RKO theater twin that was in Far Rockaway, and there's the RKO twin that was in Rockville Center. It's right where Bonefish is. That used to be the movie theater. And that's where we saw Star Wars, and also where we saw Star Trek. And I said, the only reason why I went to go see Star Trek is because my mother was a Trekkie, and even though she was a full-blown Jehovah's Witness, she was not missing that.
All right, Bob.
Bob, she's I ain't playing. I ain't missing that.
But the thing is, like, to say that this first Star Trek, that really falls more to the fandom, right? So put it this way: if Star Trek was a brand new property,
maybe Citizen. What about Citizen Kane?
I would probably say Citizen Kane. I can't forget Jaws. Jaws is
Definitely.
Jaws,
That was Jaws changed. That's another one that changed
the landscape of film.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I definitely say Jaws.
Actually, there's two of them from the 70s, Jaws and The Exorcist. Those are the two quote unquote horror films.
I would definitely say yes, The Exorcist.
Yeah.
I would probably say if you're gonna put a James Bond movie, maybe Goldfinger. Maybe
I can
Goldfinger.
say that, yeah.
Goldfinger over Dr. No. I would say Goldfinger.
Goldfinger, yeah. I can see that. You gotta put a. What about Apocalypse Now? Maybe
that's another one.
Yeah, I say Apocalypse Now. Yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have to go with Apocalypse Now.
That falls under it.
Probably E.T. Probably E.T. I would put on that list.
Close Encounters of
Close Encounters.
If I gotta go with a Spielberg movie, I would take E.T. over Close Encounters. I love Close Encounters, but E.T. strikes to that childhood of almost everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
So depending on your childhood, so the Close Encounters, because Close Encounters is actually, I think that was the first movie that I saw in a movie theater. I saw that at the Laurel Theater up at the block. That theater's a CVS now.
Where you go? What about Marty's? Taxi Driver.
No, yeah.
I think for Marty,
I say Taxi Driver. Definitely, Marty may have a couple.
No, see, for Marty, I would say Raging Bull.
You say Raging Bull
over me.
Oh, and then
what's slightest of hairs?
What about the other one with Brando? The one with Brando, the boxing one. Could have been a contender. That one.
Oh, on the waterfront.
On the waterfront, yeah. Like I said, I know it's an age thing now. You won't get anybody from this generation watching those films. But
no. But what I'm saying is, I'm looking at it like from my age. Like if I'm gonna say,
from our generation,
and I'm thinking more about, like I said, that this guy on this Facebook group that's always posting these Mount Rushmores of movies. But the core movies that they did, you just seem to glance over. You're only looking at them most like today. He put Javier Bardem on his list, right? And but there's a bunch of things that he just didn't put. He said, and this thing is, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you haven't seen No Country for Old Men.
No, he put that one. You put that one, and then the other thing that gets me with him is that. All right,
this guy be irking you, I guess, bro.
At times he does irk you, and I be commenting all the time. Like today, he put Javier Bardem on it, right? And he put these are my Mount Rushmores of Javier Bardem movies. But you put Collateral on it. He's in Collateral for 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
That's just like saying my best Steven Seagal movie was, what was the movie he was in,
Machete.
with the no, I'm talking about when he was in the plane. He died in that quick, right?
Okay. He died in the plane. Oh, executive decision.
Executive decision. Yeah. That's my favorite Steven Seagal movie.
Literally on the plane and then off.
Right. But that's what I be talking about. And I be like, no. And it just had me sitting there thinking, is there really some films that should just be, if you're going to sit there and say you are a film fan, black, white, like I said, black, white, Chinese, whatever, that these are the requirements that you should have at least seen this. Like, matter of fact, right this second, I'm looking at his list, right? Yesterday, he posted, here's my extended Mount Rushmore of John Turturro movies. John Turturro. He's got down here the 4 Transformers movies that he's in, The Big Lebowski, The Taking the Pelham 1, 2, 3, Collateral Damage, Mr. Deeds, Cars, Anger Management, and Exodus. So he's saying this is my Mount Rushmore of John Turturro movies.
Wait, not the Exorcist I think you're talking about.
That's right. The one with Christian Bale. Yes. So I responded back to him and said, wait a minute. What about Do the Right Thing? Jungle Fever, Barton Fink, or Quiz Show? I haven't seen those movies. So how Miller's Crossing? I haven't seen it. So how are you really going to give a Mount Rushmore of someone's films, but you haven't seen the bulk of their movies or the movie that they're actually were most important? You cannot have a list of John Turturro movies, right, and not have Do the Right Thing. I'm sorry, you just can't. You can't.
Yeah, you can't. Or shoot, for that matter, even Jungle Fever.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
no, you cannot.
I mean, he's in a
cannot,
lot of movies, you know, with Spike. But yeah, you can't have a Do the Right Thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, but like I said, even Jungle Fever for that matter.
Right.
But do the right thing. Yeah.
Right. Like a couple days ago, he posted this list of Drew Barrymore movies. Right. But one of the movies that he said yeah, he had Firestar down there, but he didn't have Drew Barrymore and Never Been Kissed, which is probably beyond E.T. her best role. But you put down Batman Forever that she's in for like 3 minutes. This is the stuff that I be, and I like. Because I asked him that question. I said, why don't you just say these are the movies of such and such that I saw, you know, and make it appear that
as a matter of favorite movies.
What'd you say?
Yeah, these it should be. These are my favorite movies. Not
he just basically said his favorite movies. Period. Not this is their best movie.
Rushmore, that might include a movie that you don't like, but that was actually really good.
Exactly. That's the thing. When you're doing a true Mount Rushmore, you have to be more objective. You know, you got to be well-rounded with it and be like, yeah, you know what? Wasn't a favorite movie of mine, but it was it was a critically acclaimed. It was did well at the box up. Like, you know, that definitely has to be on the Mount Rushmore. That's just when you're putting people on Mount Rushmore. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I think he was just doing his favorite film. So next week, exactly.
The last thing I just want to say, like for me, like The Godfather is not. I'm not a fan of The Godfather at all, but I do understand.
Right, you understand it, yeah.
Its cultural significance of like
of where it stands in cinema history. I mean, that's the same thing with me with some of these other films too. That I'm not a big, like Gone with the Wind. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't no big fan of that film. I've seen it a couple times, watched it with my mom's a couple times, but I do.
It doesn't speak to me. It doesn't speak to me. But I saw it.
But I saw it. Right, exactly. It doesn't speak to me, but I did see it. I mean, Schindler's List, great film, but I mean, it's not my favorite film. You know what I'm saying? But I still saw it. I recognize it. I did see it, and I recognize the significance it is as a film. You know, some people may feel that way about Blade Runner. You know, they feel like Blade Runner really was like it blazed trails. You know, it was especially when it comes to technology and stuff like that, and special effects.
But if I would sit there and put down there my Mount Rushmore Harrison Ford movies, I certainly at the Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark, you certainly will have to consider Blade Runner.
Right.
I mean, you just can't gloss over like, oh no, he wasn't in that.
And then jump into Clear and Present Danger, Right, wait a minute. What about Blade?
Jump into Sabrina or something like that. Like, yo, what about The Fugitive? What about Air Force One? And that's what I was trying to tell the guys. I said, just change it. Stop saying Mount Rushmore. Just say these are the films this actor that I saw
that I like.
That I liked. But stop saying. But then I'm sorry, you're going to put a Mount Rushmore of Ron Howard as a director. Okay, you don't put Cocoon.
This guy must really be getting on your nerves, bro.
Because
you've been talking about him for a couple of weeks.
Because he does this almost every single day, and every single time he posts a list or something, I'll be like, "Well, what about this? Oh, I didn't see it." And it's
he doesn't really know films. That's what it is.
Can I make a suggestion of how you handle that?
What? Just stop.
Just get off. Facebook.
Unfriend him.
I can't kick him out the room because he's
in the
not
group.
my room. Yeah, he's in the group, so I can't kick him out.
You
Right?
can block
And I don't
him.
think he needs to be kicked out, but I think he needs to do some remedial movie
can block
history.
his posts.
That's why I'm not on Facebook anymore. And I gotta say, I think if I was still on Facebook right now, y'all be sitting here like, damn, I wish Kev was here, because I would have died by now with all of the stuff that I've been dealing with.
Yeah, just have an aneurysm.
No.
I have to add something, but with that list, King Kong definitely is a film that. That's gotta be on the list. King Kong.
Yeah.
Which
any of them? Pick one.
Actually,
Ralph. I'm sorry. Oh, you mean required? Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about
requirement
the
list.
black card list. That's why I was saying.
No, I meant on the requirement. Yeah, the film requirement. You had to see King Kong.
I could go with King Kong. I don't know.
You like which one? I'm like, pick one, any one of them. It don't matter.
I don't know about that the one with Jessica Lange. I don't know. I would probably pick the Fay Ray one. Then
the original.
Whoa! You can't just disinclude the one with Jessica Lange. And
no. What I said was because there's been 3. If I had to pick one, I probably would go with the original one over Jessica Lange and over Peter Jackson's versions. But if I make it
sorry, fellas.
But
Back to the Future is definitely on that list. Back to the Future.
Yes, that is a required film to watch. Back to the Future. You know,
yeah,
this would be a good list. I probably would sit there and say from that time period, since we used to play on this show, The Breakfast Club is a required movie that you should have seen.
I say if I have to pick any of the John Hughes films, that's probably one of the ones I think.
Ferris is the guilty pleasure.
Ferris.
But Breakfast Club is the one to see. All of them.
I'm gonna be honest with you. There are a handful of horror films that are actually almost mandatory, like
Halloween. Halloween is mandatory.
Halloween's mandatory.
And Nightmare on Elm Street is mandatory.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Because it changed. That changed. Nightmare on Elm Street changed the genre a little bit with the way they did things.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, the original. Yeah,
the original one. Yes.
Yeah.
I just watched the latest.
The Exorcist, definitely.
There was a new latest one that they just did, a Texas Chainsaw. That shit was. It was crazy. It was just about
the Exorcist has got to be on there too.
Yeah,
there'd be none of these paranormal movies if it wasn't for
without the Exorcist. No, none. Yeah. I might, depending on how big a list I wanted to put as the guilty pleasure. And I'm gonna say this, and people might say nah, but I might put the original Poltergeist down there too.
But that's not really
Poltergeist is scary as hell, and it's PG. I think that's why, because it's PG, but it's scary as hell.
The second one was more scarier than the first one.
Nah,
yeah, the first one was scary to me. Yeah, the second one was scary with that dude. But anyway, let's wrap. Let's wrap the air. Let's wrap us the shows on there. We'll catch y'all next week. We'll wrap up our black card list, and we'll start working on the new list of film requirements. It's a required film. If you're a film lover. Yeah, because this is when we think about this new list, it's going to be like when you say like you're a film guru or you're a film lover, you're a film buff, and then someone mentions one of these films and you haven't seen it.
Sit down.
That's what it's like. What? That's when you get the people saying, "What? You didn't see so and so?"
My card is going to be in question.
Once again,
we all gonna have.
Something that we didn't see.
Yeah, we're all gonna have at least one or two that we didn't see that people are gonna be like, you really should see this. I already got a few of them that I know people have already said to me, how you call yourself a filmmaker and you didn't see this? And that's all the time. And I'll tell you right now, right out the gate, is Lord of the Rings.
The first one.
The first one. And people get on me all the time. What? You ever seen Lord of the Rings? I'm like, no.
I might agree with that one. But like the other day,
But peace out, everybody. We're wrapping the air, and then we'll finish off air. Thank you very much for joining us.
Monday. We back.
See you next Monday. We back.